Hello, everyone, and welcome to another room-clearing, Taliban-chasing, mountain-climbing, goat-eating, whiskey-drinking, gun-toting, grenade-throwing, barn-burning, shoot-tally-in-the-nutsack freak show. Uncle Gary was going to sign up, but then his nipples hurt. Veteran edition of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
What's up, bro?
Not much.
You okay?
Yeah, are you okay?
I feel like shit,
You've been
dude.
dying since we've arrived.
I feel like shit. Stop looking at me like that. Stop, dude.
Sorry.
Fucking stop. Cut it out. Jesus. Hello, everyone. So welcome to another episode of the Days Grimm. Did we ever say our names?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, cool. Fuck.
I also want to say, like, Duda produced this podcast. You know how, like, those rappers are like, who made this beat?
What do they call those things whenever they're like, standing on the beat? Those weird little stamps.
Yeah,
Isn't there like a name for that?
I don't know. I think there is. A tag.
Yeah, it's a rap tag or something, or a beat tag. I forget. Oh, we got to light our incense, dude.
Speaking about tagging and bagging,
Hit him with that intro.
you hit him with the intro.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome into the studio, Mr. Senior 11 Bang Bang, Justin Vriezelaar. What's up, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's up, man? How are you?
Kind of feeling like you at the moment.
Yeah, you guys had a wild night of drinking, from what I heard.
Okay, so
yeah.
I say 11 Bang Bang. That stands for infantry.
Yeah.
Blow that puppy out. There we go. That stands for infantry. And when you put two infantry dudes in a room together,
With copious amounts of alcohol.
it's like two feral cats.
Yeah.
And you just, like, fucking wild shit starts happening. It's
I
weird.
believe it.
Yeah, and we just started, like, trading war stories and, like, talking about shit going in people's butts.
Yeah.
Drag race for the old time's sake.
Yeah, killing goats and dogs and stuff. Wild stuff, dude. But anyways, yeah, so we were up drinking until 2 a.m.
Yeah,
until,
talking about
until
dogs
like
with-
7 hours ago.
Talking about dogs with mines in their assholes.
Yeah. Well, did we ever have that?
No.
We never had a dog with an IED.
No, never had a dog.
That
with
was
an
Homeboy.
Yeah,
That was it.
Didn't know if you mentioned it.
That's a real thing. I didn't mention it. So, and we had this other guy on not too long ago.
He was in a
Was
sweeper.
it Stumpy that
Yeah.
told us that story? This guy named Stumpy, he was mechanized infantry, and he had a story about they found a fucking dog on the side of the road. It had a fucking wire sticking out of its asshole.
What?
It had a fucking IED in it. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's...
And he was also talking about the IED that hit his truck was a remote detonated one.
Yeah.
And they had it lined up. They had rocks set up as like crosshairs.
Yeah.
Like across
Yeah, I
the
know they'll
desert.
do that shit. They'll put different... They'll use trash and different things as markers to know when you cross that
Landmarks,
they're in
yeah.
the zone.
Rudimentary.
Yeah. Very simple. Pretty much, yeah.
Crosshairs.
Crosshair. Yeah, just room is crosshair. So they're going to have an observer that's however far away and just go hit it.
We had seen a couple of those. Is that too much smoke, like blowing right in your face?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, we
And
can
then
move
too
it out. Hand it over here, dude. We'll move that puppy out of the way. It can be a little much.
Got it.
All right. So, anyways, for the folks at home, explain to them in kind of in 60 seconds ish an elevator pitch of like who is Justin Vriezelaar.
Oh, man. I don't know. All I do is just work, ride motorcycles, hunt, fish, shoot too many guns.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's just the same shit.
yeah. You have an arsenal at home. It's like
Yeah.
48 guns or something.
Like 15, but we're working on it.
It's like 9 more than me.
I'm trying to get there. I'll have an
You'll get
arsenal
there
one day.
eventually. You'll
Yeah.
have like 3 gun safes.
Yeah,
All
just
hold,
one gun at a
45
time, man.
guns.
We had a guy we were drinking with last night. I think he was he gay or Jewish or something? Well, he was talking about his huge gun safe.
Oh, what was his name? Jonah?
Oh no, that's right. His name was Jonah.
Jonah.
That's where I was getting
Yeah.
the Jewish thing from.
Yeah.
He had a biblical name. That's why I was.
Yeah.
But Jonah, dude, he was the one talking about butt stuff the whole time. But anyways, he was telling us about his he's got a safe the size of this room with guns.
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. Like, dude, how many fucking guns do you have? And he was like, oh, I got a couple BB guns.
Yeah, I got a couple BB guns. Nothing special. Just a couple BB guns.
Whatever, pussy. I fucking doubt it. Dude.
What do you think the craziest gun you've shot outside of the military has been?
Outside of the military? Man, I shot a dragon off. That was fun.
Where?
Blue owns it.
Really?
Yeah, Blue owns a Dragunov. I shot a Dragunov. I shot a Scar.
I know who Blue is, but for the folks at home, who is Blue?
He's another one of our guys that we went to Afghanistan together with, and his name's actually David Miranda, but he decided to join the army when he was like 100.
They've fully automatics in the army, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's nothing for you guys,
No,
but like a civilian like me, I'm
standard
just like,
protocol.
yeah, those are fun.
It's still a cool gun that you don't get to see a lot, so like getting to shoot it is fun, but man, it's really hard to beat the 240 or the Mondoose when you can just let it eat and just throw rounds downrange.
We should be clear that I don't know if we've already said this or not. Justin and I did a tour in Afghanistan together. Did we already specify that?
Oh, I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we did. So from 2011 to 2012, we were nut hugging each other pretty fucking hard.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we'll talk a fair bit about that today. This is gonna be a rough episode. I'm gonna let you guys know. Okay, I'm doing my best. I'm like kind of shaky from the amount of coffee I just intook. But it'll be okay. So we're going to talk a fair bit about that. But we also like to do a timeline too. So we're going to dig into a little bit of a timeline.
After the death of the week.
Yeah, and then spend a lot of time on Afghanistan. I was going to ask, have you seen any of the shows before?
I've caught little tidbits of them. Like I didn't even know how to find a podcast, and I'm here as a guest on a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I've never listened to one. I'm really like behind on like the technology thing.
Yeah.
I've just gotten to streaming TV shows like 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
you gotta like give me a minute here.
He's like, have you guys heard about this thing called Netflix?
dude, I still use
It's fucking sick.
You want to know something crazy? I still use Pandora to play music in my car. I'm not
What's wrong
on
with
like
that?
I'm not on Spotify or any of the other things that people are talking
Pandora's
about.
still dope.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
People are like I'm crazy because I'm like way out of date. Like, oh, get with the times. Like everybody's on Spotify now. I'm like, Pandora works. Why would I gotta
Like,
change
you guys
it?
aren't doing cassette tapes anymore? I still got a cassette player in my car.
Yeah,
Right.
So, but I've seen like, I think you guys have some clips on like Facebook Reels that pop up with
yeah.
me and being friends with Dave. So I've seen a lot of those and stuff on the Reels.
So we do a little ditty called Death of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. And you and I are all too familiar with death. So,
yeah.
Duda, if you would,
Spin that track.
yeah, let's spin up that Death of the Week. Next one down. There you go. Spin up this week's Death of the Week. Brought to you by Thedaysgrimm.com. Go get some sweet merch. Get you a mug. Get you a t-shirt. Get you, oh God, whatever you want. We got a bunch of cool shit in there. Also, in the description, you'll see an Etsy store. That's Corn Dog Development. Use the promo code Days Grimm and saves you 10% off everything that he offers in his store. Let's pull up this week's Death of the Week. Woman living in Connex dies of apparent carbon monoxide poisoning in Hooper Bay. Go ahead and scroll on down for me, sir. So we're talking July 23, 2021. Alaska State troopers say Hooper Bay woman died of an apparent carbon monoxide poisoning Thursday morning. Again, this was 2021. According to an online dispatch at 3:45 a.m., troopers were notified by the village police of, love that it's a village police, of the death of 37-year-old. What a fucking name. Oh my God. You can't fucking make this shit up, dude. Hold on.
Dude,
Troopers say she was found dead inside the Connex that she lived in. Quote, a preliminary investigation revealed that that's her full name, was using a generator inside the Connex, end quote, troopers wrote. AST says her remains were sent to the state medical examiner for an autopsy. Fuck, dude, I wonder what her SAT score was.
Well, she wasn't very generator.
Bring the volume down on that death week a little bit. Let's talk about that, gentlemen. Okay, so chick's name was
Yeah. Of
And
all
she
things.
apparently wasn't very she's trying to run a generator in an enclosed space and say, oh yeah, I can sleep here before.
And also, this is in Alaska.
Yeah, like
Living in a Connex
I don't
where
know.
it's fucking cold.
I've
What
never
are
seen
we
an insulated
doing?
Connex. Like it's a metal box. I think it'll turn into an ice cube.
what are we doing?
Like you've opened up Connex in the middle of the day. In
We
the middle
lived
of the
in
day,
Connexes.
they're still like cold in the middle of the day because it takes forever for it to heat that space up or cool it down. So when that gets freezing cold in there,
Very well insulated,
It's
whether it's hot
terrible.
or cold.
those things are terrible.
I don't, for folks at home, yeah, basically a Connex, because dude actually asked, that's a good question. Not everybody uses the term Connex, but a Connex is really just like a trailer that
It's
you
a shipping
see.
container.
Yeah, it's a shipping container.
like you see on the big cargo ships, so all those
Yeah.
containers, those are Connexes.
Yeah, I think that's like I don't. Is that the official name, or is there? I don't know. I've heard them called trailers. I don't know.
Always known them as the Conics.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so don't run a goddamn generator. That's like those fucking people that try to stay warm by grilling in their enclosed space. Have you ever heard of that? Heard of that?
Like lighting fires and
or
enclosed
how
spaces,
that
stuff like
warehouse burned down.
Yeah, because a couple of hobos were in there fucking dicking around trying to grill up.
Stay warm.
No shit. And they're burning charcoal, which is outputting carbon monoxide. It's like, you're going to die. And
there was a homeless person in Indianapolis that was stealing traffic cones and taking them. There was like a hole on the side of the road, and he was taking in there and burning traffic cones to stay warm in the winter. And he died in like 2 years. And he was a white dude, and you thought he was doing like blackface or something just because of all
the chemicals, like the soot coming off the plastic.
That's not cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't doing blackface.
No, there was just all of the black smoke and chemicals, and he was in there trying to stay warm. And
oh, he looked like a coal miner.
Yeah.
Nice, man. That's this week's Death of the Week. Short, sweet, to the point. This person's
not very smart.
Not very smart.
Fucking guys. And I say that, I don't use that word lightly.
Yeah.
I mean it when I say it. In this case, she's
You can't even do like a fire inside a closed place without having some sort of outside air coming in. Like you'll burn up all the oxygen in the room real quick.
That's this week's Death of the Week, brought to you by Thedaysgrimm.com. Check it out, get some merch. And then also Corn Dog Development, promo code Daysgrimm. Get in there, get you a fucking super sick coaster. So Justin, where the hell are you from?
Well, I'm from a little town called Pella, Iowa, about 6 hours away from here.
Yeah, you're not too far away, dude.
No, it's not really that terrible. Every time it's the third time I've been down here, and every time I plan a trip down here, and I just start thinking about it, like, oh, I should go see Dad. And I go, man, it's really not that far. Like,
I should go see Day, but also fuck him.
Yeah, like I should do it more than like every 2-3 years, you know.
Yeah, I hope Day's okay, but also eat shit, dude.
I'll figure it out. I'll wait another year, then I'll message him again and see what he's up
to. So you grew up in this town. What was it called again?
Pella. It's a little town. I live 15 minutes outside.
You're
of that town.
Southeast of Des Moines, right?
Yeah, about an hour southeast.
That's the only town that anybody knows from Iowa. Just so we're clear.
Iowa City.
No one knows.
University of Iowa, the Hawkeye football team.
Dude, don't get him started on football. This guy's a huge Hawkeyes fan. Yeah, huge Hawkeyes fan. If you talk any shit, this dude bleeds black and yellow. Do you know the Hawkeyes college team? Do you know the Hawkeyes?
How do you guys not know the Hawkeyes?
Yeah,
dude, I don't follow sports.
We've come out
college.
to
I know who they are.
Indianapolis for like the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I know who they are. And folks at home know who they are.
It's been a long time.
It's not their fault that they're slow. You know what I mean? It's okay.
You guys don't follow football.
They don't follow sports. Yeah, because really football is all that Iowa State has.
No, we actually
and Brian becomes like a heroin addict when football season comes in. He's like a trash.
We got a pack.
I don't fuck around.
We got the Iowa State Cyclones and the Hawkeyes, but the Iowa women's basketball team like almost won the state championship this year.
Yeah, it's women's basketball,
bro.
Unless you're getting locked up in Russia, nobody's knowing about it.
You wanna tell me this?
I'm so sorry. That's not cool.
Caitlin Clark on the Iowa Hawkeyes has broke records that like Larry Bird and all these other people have never set.
Who won? I thought IU.
Iowa lost.
Didn't IU women's make it pretty far?
We made it to like
no IU. Indiana Hoosiers. I thought the Hoosier girl team made it very far. I think they were in like the Final Four.
Like I said, let's be honest, it's women's basketball, so I didn't watch it. I can watch it.
All right.
But I just kind of listen to the news and stuff going on.
So far, that's the most disrespectful thing we've said on the show. It's not going to get a lot better, folks. Not going to get a lot better. I should...
So you're a big sports guy. So did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, I played... I tried about every goddamn sport there was. I used to wrestle in like middle school. I played baseball when I was a kid, soccer. And then I kind of quit on all those and just kind of focused on football. Played football throughout high school I did it for a couple of years and I kind of quit that.
Were you always man size?
Yeah, I was always bigger.
Yeah, you're
like as big a permanent child, but has to grow a beard so he doesn't get ID'd when he buys smokes.
Dude, I'm bald. And people look at me and they're like, I'm serious. People look at me and they're like, dude, that is a really tired 50-year-old. It's a really old, tired, entitled white dude.
Right, McDonald's gives them the discount.
Right, senior discount.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. I tell people I'm 33 and they're like, shut up.
They're like, let me see your silver sneakers card.
Well, anyways, so you were always like man size.
Yeah.
Like when you were playing high school football, how big were you? Like height and weight. And what position did you play?
I played tight end for a little bit. Then I played offensive guard. I played defensive end. So I was a bigger boy. I mean, I was like 220.
A lot of blocking.
220 pounds, like 5'10".
5'10", 220?
Yeah.
That is a big boy.
I was a big boy.
Damn, and you're what, 6'1"?
6'1".
Now?
Yeah, about still 210.
Damn, dude. Yeah. So you're down, really? 'Cause have you? I felt like you put weight on after the Army, but have you or have you not? I don't know.
I mean, I could put on a little bit of weight because I went from working out every goddamn day for everything
Uncle Sam
to just living a pretty normal.
But you're active,
existence.
though.
I'm active. I stay
I
active.
feel like the last time I saw you,
I am a little bit bigger than I was in the military, but I'm not.
I thought you had weight on like when I saw you the first time after the Army, and then now seeing you now, I feel like you're smaller for some reason.
Some people have told me that too, but I don't think
That's
I
what I was
have.
getting
Like
at.
I keep buying bigger size pants, so I don't think I'm getting any skinnier.
Your ass gets bigger and bigger the older you get.
Every time I get new pants, I got to go up a damn size. So I don't think I'm losing weight here. But
like
everybody keeps saying that they like trim down. I go, I don't think so, but thanks.
In one of my favorite movies, Big Daddy, there's a line that he says. He was like, every time I drink a milkshake, my ass jiggles for a week. And it's like, dude, when you turn 30, like that's real shit, dude. This is what you have to look forward to. So when you turn 30, bro, it's like nothing. You can't eat a cheeseburger, dude. You just have to constantly starve yourself. You'll know. You'll find out.
Unless you're like my brother, who's got the best damn metabolism in the world and could probably eat McDonald's 3 meals a day.
Brother?
No, I
I've
met my
not.
sister.
So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So growing up in Iowa, in this town that nobody's ever heard of before,
Yeah, exactly.
9 people live there.
About.
Well, it would be a village then.
Oh, that was so sick, by the way, in the Death of the Week that they mentioned it was village police officers or whatever. Like, I love a village.
Yeah.
Do you have villages in Iowa?
No.
We have villages here.
So I claim Pella, but I actually lived 15 minutes outside of a town called Otley that doesn't even have a gas station. It's got a post
That
office.
might
that's
be a
literally,
village, bro.
That's literally the reason why it's considered a town. It has a post office that's literally as big as this room we're
Can
in.
you Google the definition of what is a village in America? Because it's a common term that gets thrown around.
There's one here.
Yeah, there's a bunch here. We have a village here.
I can't say I've heard of
They have
those.
a bunch
I've heard of townships, like towns that are working on becoming a town. So they're called a little township.
Yeah.
Blue is from a little township in California.
Also, they have a shitload of villages in Ohio. A shitload of them. A lot of Amish from Ohio.
Oh,
So
dude, we got a ton of them in Iowa too.
So, like, if you have Amish country, there's probably a handful of villages you've just never heard about. What's the definition of a village? A village is a small settlement usually found in a rural setting and is generally larger than a hamlet, but smaller than a town. What is a hamlet? Some geographers specifically define a village as having between 500 and 2,500 inhabitants. In most parts of the world, villages are settlements of people clustered around a central point. Fuck it.
Oh, bro, I'm from a village.
Yeah,
Like, I actually lived outside of this town.
I live in a smaller thing than a village.
I bet there's less than 500 people in that town.
You probably live in a Hamilton.
I probably live in a hamlet.
Yeah, you live in a hamlet, dog.
Yeah, dude. There's a post office in that town the size of this. There's a little like you have to buy like these prepaid cards to use it, but there's like 2 gas pumps in the town that you can use if you buy these little cards.
Is there a Dollar General?
No.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
you live in a hamlet.
There's not a gas station, man. There's not a gas station where you can even go in and get like a bottle of water from an attendant. It's literally like 2 gas pumps. You have to swipe a card to use.
They have a Dollar General on Mars, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not in Iowa. They're not there.
Damn, you guys are like a 4th generation country.
So what makes you? Did you enlist right after high school?
I attempted college for like half a semester. Attempted.
You're very intelligent though.
Yeah.
And you halfway through a semester, you're just like, I want to go kill.
No, I was like halfway through a year. Like, dude, I was an undisciplined little shit. So basically, I went to college. All the teachers told me, like, I don't take attendance. You don't have to come here. Just show up on test day.
Mistake number 1.
Yeah. So now they told me that I'm not being like marked down or graded on attendance. I didn't go half the time.
Why the fuck am I going to be here?
Dude, I had an hour drive to school, like to my college. I couldn't afford to live on campus, and I lived an hour away from school. So I drove like.
Can you say what school it was?
Yeah, DMAC, Des Moines Area Community College. There's 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
I was up in Ankeny, Iowa, so it's like a suburb of Des Moines. It's just like north of Des Moines a little bit.
Okay. Des Moines is a big town.
Yeah, I mean,
million people?
I don't. Des Moines probably not, but the thing about Des Moines is it kind of got landlocked by like Waukee and everything else. So like, it can't really grow, but it's all one like Waukee, Ankeny, Altoona, and Des Moines. You drive through it, you can't tell where they end and begin. It's all like 4
I feel like
towns.
You're just naming like Native American tribes.
Back to the village thing. You know?
All right, dude. Let's get away from towns that no one gives a shit about.
Anyways,
and no, I'm joking.
Yeah, so I went to college, did a semester, and I like didn't have the drive to like be disciplined with it.
Yeah.
So I failed like half my classes, just bombed them.
But
And
you're
I
not
was like,
stupid though, because we talked about your ASVAB score, which we will get to very briefly or very momentarily. So what was your favorite thing about college? Did you have a favorite thing?
Bro, it was shitty.
You hated the whole experience?
Yeah. I guess one day I went up there and there was a snow day and I didn't find out that school was canceled until I got there. So I like did shitties and drifted around the parking lot that was abandoned forever, like just drifting my car around like the light poles and shit.
Sick.
With another chick that I ran into up there, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, nice, dude. Was she a nice lady?
Yeah, she was kind of cool. Well, yeah, okay. She was in, I don't know what class she was, but she's probably the only reason why I passed one of my classes, because she did all my shit.
Oh, so you didn't fail everything?
No, I failed half my classes.
Oh, that's not bad.
I got C's in the other two.
So speaking of your intelligence level, because so infantrymen have a bad rap.
Of being dumb.
Yeah. Checks out. Because you see the shit that we do.
Point.
Right here, guys. Look at Daddy. I'm not the sharpest spoon in the toolbox.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you said that I was a spoon in a toolbox, that would be a good analogy for who I am as a person. Like, why do you have a spoon in a toolbox? That's me.
Yeah, you're just kind of like the odd wrench or whatever that's thrown in something. You're like, why is this here? You never know. You never know when you're going to need it. Like,
yeah, or a screwdriver in your utensil drawer in
right,
the kitchen.
yeah.
That's what I am.
Yeah, it's like you got to go cut a steak and you pull out a screwdriver to pin it down. Like, like, what do you have that for? I'm like, you don't know when you're going to need it.
That's day. But infantrymen are just notoriously stupid, but tough.
I don't know if we're actually that stupid, because I think you actually like did the research and looked it up. At one point, I was told that the infantry actually has the highest average ASVAB score.
I don't fit in that
across the board.
I don't fit.
But we also have underliers, like people like you that barely get in.
what's an so you were talking about the ASVAB.
Yeah.
What is the ASVAB?
So basically, the ASVAB is like this general knowledge test that the Army gives you. Like, it covers everything from like basic mechanical questions, basic electrical questions. Like, it's just like testing your over general, like, to me, it was street knowledge and common sense. Because like
street cred,
I grew up like, well,
never buy a dime bag from a new dude named Daryl.
Yeah, like, but I grew up like working on small electrical things with my dad and fixing stuff around my house. So like, I worked on this stuff. So to me, it was common knowledge. That's why I found it so easy, because I've done it. So
you had a father.
Oh yeah, good point. Jesus just went there. Yeah, I did. I had a father.
It's dark, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he said.
Still have him to this day. So
yeah, my dad's a dickhead.
I worked with my dad around the house, and I learned about amperage and voltage, and
yeah, actually, I learned that by my dad not putting electrical outlets on stuff, and I tried to figure out if I get the lights to turn on. I'm not real quick about grounding.
Dude, grounding, not when you put your feet in the sand.
Not burying your feet at the bottom of a tree like Saraguru talks about.
Thomas is hippy dippy. Have you guys spoken much? You get the vibe that he's hippy dippy.
Yeah, I met Thomas at your wedding for like 10 minutes in that massive chaos where everybody was running around and your mom was trying to get me hammered. But
he's like heavy into earth and like
earth go hard.
Oh, so that's not the grounding I'm talking about. I'm talking about electricity trying to go to ground.
I just wanted to clarify. And then also,
I messed with a lot of subs because I didn't have a father.
Yeah.
Oh. Jesus.
But anyway, so the ASVAB. I feel like what I remembered from the ASVAB was a lot of like mechanical knowledge. But
there's a lot of
like
mechanical
pulleys and stuff like that, and I wasn't good at that.
It was basic
gear ratio.
It was basic like algebra.
Yeah, I wasn't good at algebra either.
No,
algebra 1, yes, 2.
Yeah.
So I was always good at math. Like that was one.
So how did you do on the ASVAB?
I got 116.
And what does that rank at?
It's like really high. If you get over 110, you can do any job in the book that the Army offers. So I got a 116, and I picked the job that requires the lowest score.
What's the lowest score you can get before they kick you out? And they're like, "You're too stupid."
32. No. 32 is the last. Like if you get a 31, yeah, you're making it. 32, you're in. Guess what they got?
I scored a 32. Everybody, just so you guys know.
His option was tanker or infantryman. That's all you're doing.
There's 2 jobs. There's 2 jobs that you can
do. And the tankers, they're like 31. you might get.
Like, what is that, 31.5? Round it up. Dude. Get him in here.
They didn't have to make a list for him to choose from. Like, you got 2 options, tanker, infantry. Like, my recruiter, like, literally pulled the whole book of all the MOSs the Army offers and set it down on the table and goes, what do you want?
It's pretty great because they hand you this pamphlet, typically.
For you, they handed you a pamphlet.
They handed him a freaking Post-it note. Like, here's your choices.
It's a 2-sided flyer.
Like, my final test was, can you spell infantryman? And I was like, well, I don't know, but I'll give it my best shot.
Can you put your name on this piece of paper?
Can you look at a compass and know what "in" means?
Can you point in this direction and shoot a gun?
God,
I think I figured it out.
You won't be a leader, but just follow along.
I'm convinced that's why I was never really that, and I was only in for 3 years. I think that's why I never took a leadership role.
You were
I was just too stupid.
You were right at the point where you like, oh, man, I didn't do a leadership role till. Well, I guess I did when we got back from Afghanistan.
Like year 4.
So you sign up, you get to pick your path, and then you go to basic.
Yeah, you go
what was
to basic
that like
for
you?
months. Dude, basic was fucking terrible because I had a terrible last name, and I got fucking targeted.
Yeah,
you get a weird name, and you don't want to be someone you don't want to be remembered in basic. If they can remember you, it's bad because they're going to pick you out every time. So you want to be like incognito and just kind of like live in the shadows so you don't get fucked with.
Don't volunteer for shit.
Yeah, my name doesn't allow me to do that.
Yeah, they're like,
they saw my last name. I got called Alphabet. We wouldn't be doing nothing. The drill sergeant just come into the room and just start yelling Alphabet. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
just because I was memorable. He just remembered me, so I got
a lot of vowels in your name.
Yeah, stupid.
How do you spell your last name? Because I spell it wrong every time. It's Vrie.
Okay, let's see if you can do it.
Vrie. Vriezelaar. I'm trying to remember how I sounded out. I think it's Vriezelaar, right?
Vriezelaar.
But how?
It's like it's like.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Spell it like freeze, but I don't know. L-A-R on it.
Oh Jesus! So I can't do that.
Vriezelaar.
Yeah, Vriezelaar. With 2 A's, right?
Yeah, 2 A's in the end.
Yeah.
My grandma. This is funny. There's actually a debate. There's a debate in my family on how we say this right, and it's funny because it comes from my grandma and my grandpa. My grandma says it one way. Now, mind you, my grandma married into the Vriezelaar name.
Okay.
My grandpa says another one. She claims it's Vriezelaar. The double A makes a U sound. Is what she claims.
Is this like Yiddish or something? What the fuck is this stupid last name? Sorry, I don't mean to insult your family, but it's stupid.
It's Dutch and German. It's mostly Dutch with a little bit of German influence. Like it's
fucking with their stupid vowels.
Yeah.
You fucking
douchebags. The funny thing is, like, it sounds like this. It sounds like this big last name. You think, oh, it's got to have like a cool meaning. So if like in like high school, once we had to do like a little project, like find out what your name means or where it comes from. Dude, it means a small clearing in the woods. Like that's what my name means. Like, oh, great, just some family that lives out in the middle of nowhere by some small clearing in the woods.
In a hamlet.
Yeah, and I still grew up there. Look at that. Came full circle.
Bringing it around town. So you go through basic. That sucks balls. What was your favorite part of basic?
Well, I was gonna say
graduation.
You already had gun knowledge too, going into the military.
Yeah, I grew up
fishing. And...
I grew up, man. I've been shooting since I can remember.
What was your list of I guess like how deep? Because if you're a hunter, you know bolties. You know, probably. Did you do bow fishing or bow hunting?
I didn't do bow fishing. I got into bow like a couple years before I went to.
So you understand like trajectory and stuff, but like a lot of bolt action. Did you do a lot of? Do you have semi-automatic knowledge at this point?
I had a little bit of semi-automatic knowledge just from like shotguns because we didn't have a lot of money then, so we didn't have crazy guns. Like we had practical guns. Like we had guns we were gonna go hunt with. So we had in Iowa. There's not a rifle season, so there's no reason for us to have a bolt action rifle. We use shotguns, muzzleloaders. And that's about it.
You said, you say
fucking gross, but Indiana just got rifles season like
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I know, it's so fucking stupid. But the problem with it is trajectory of the round, and like so you can spit out a round that's going like 2,600 feet per second, and if you don't hit your target, and if you're not going into a backstop,
right, or shooting up.
But that's basic gun knowledge.
That's kind of the reason why they don't do it in Iowa. Iowa just made it. We're kind of getting there now. Like they improved like straight wall pistol cartridges in a rifle platform. So I actually now shoot an AR platform that's chambered in 450 Bushmaster for deer.
Oh, that's hot. Oh yeah, you showed me.
I showed you a picture.
Yeah, it's fucking hot.
Yeah, that's my deer gun now. I got a little like 1.5 to like 4 times scope on the top of it, so I can shoot them on the run or I can set with it.
And for the listeners that aren't like gun savvy, what's a 450 Bushmaster?
Basically, it's a 45 caliber bullet that's about the size of a shotgun shell.
Yeah,
it's just really long and big and thick.
Fucking knock down an elephant.
Yeah, it'll hurt.
But what's the velocity on that one? Do you know offhand?
I want to say it's around. It's very comparable to like a shotgun slug. So it's like 1,800 and like maybe 1,900. Okay. Yeah, they're heavy and slow. They rely on weight and impact for damage.
After you graduate from basic, do you have a gap before you go or
I had
stay on a base?
I had like I think 10 days from the time I got out of basic training to go back home, pack my life up in my little shitty Acura Integra, and drive my ass down to Fort Bliss, Texas. We're going to piss some people off here, but the butthole of the world.
Oh, dude, you're not going to piss anybody off. I talk shit about El Paso, Texas like it's my fucking job, dude. If I was like a salesman to sell somewhere to live, I'd do the opposite for El Paso. I think I've moved 20,000 people away from that city.
It's terrible,
I fucking
man.
hate that place.
It's god-awful.
If you find yourself near that fucking sphincter of a fucking town,
dude, it is
get the fuck out of there, dude. There's nothing but fucking... caballeros and fucking gangsters and fucking cartel down there, dude.
Yeah, and fucking soldiers that don't want to be there.
Yeah, and just soldiers like
Like,
fucking each other's wives.
You know
and
what's
shit.
so bad? Like normal time, like there's
Seriously.
not like a lot of shopping on military installations mostly.
Right.
Mostly you go out into the public space and do it. They don't waste the land on it. El Paso is so bad that they started building bars and restaurants and everything on main post to try to keep soldiers from going out into the dang city.
Yeah, because the city is so violent. There's a million people. That's another good point to make is that most military installations are built around small fucking towns. Like Fort Hood is built around a shit town called Killeen that nobody fucking likes in Texas. Sorry, Killeen. You guys suck. Fort Hood, fucking good people there, though. But they normally build them around these tiny little shit towns that nobody fucking likes. Like Colorado Springs has fucking Fort Carson, right?
Colorado Springs is a big fucking city, man.
It is?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's a nice place.
But normally it's smaller towns, Anchorage, Alaska, etc. The list goes on. But El Paso, Texas is like a million fucking people. It's a huge fucking city.
And the base is like smack in the fucking middle of
Oh,
it.
it's so fucking stupid. So you leave base and you get in trouble immediately. There's so much cocaine
Dude,
and
you go
wild
anywhere,
shit
and
going on there.
You're either going to find, like, remember when Paul was involved in a shootout at a bar? Like, God.
Dude, it's sketchy shit, dude. I fucking hate that town.
So you pack up and you immediately go.
Yeah, I had
overseas?
like literally. My parents came down and picked me up. We flew back. They came down to my graduation. Yeah, both my mom and my dad. You know,
My favorite question for infantrymen: where'd you go to basic training?
you know this. The infantrymen only go to one place.
OSIT, baby. Fort Benning, Georgia. So you leave Fort Benning, Georgia, and go straight to El Paso.
I went home. I had
10
like I
days.
said, I had 10 days. So we flew back. So it took me like a 3-day drive to get down there. So or a 2-day drive to get down there. So I had like 8 days home to like pack up.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I thought I had a lot of shit, but I could fit all my stuff in one fucking little tiny hatchback Integra.
Yeah.
That had, as you've seen, had no suspension whatsoever.
And driving that for 40 fucking hours sounds terrible.
Oh, yeah. I drove that all the way from Iowa, 24-hour trip, 24 hours of driving straight down to El Paso, Texas. And then little pumpkin boy Iowa from town of 10,000 pulls into a town of 1 million people and just go, what in the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah. They're like handing out 8 balls on the interstate.
Right. It was,
Like, Jesus.
come in, there's like 8 lanes of traffic. I go, Jesus, what am I doing?
Yeah, fucking stupid. Dude. I-10 is a fucking nightmare.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah,
People don't
GPS,
realize.
merge 8 lanes
Yeah,
and take the
literally.
exit on the left. You're
Take
like, I've
the
got
third to second last lane to the right and exit in the middle of the goddamn road.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what
fucking-
the fuck? But dude, so you get to Fort Bliss. What was your? How long are you at Fort Bliss before you and I go tip to tip? When do we meet? I don't even remember. How long are you at Fort Bliss before you start gearing up for the
So-
deployment?
I want to say I was there for like a year because you came over to us in like 21, didn't you?
So
Or no, 2011. Just before we deployed, right?
2009. I was.
Or was it no tail end of 10?
So I was at Fort Bliss in 2010, and I was on Fort Bliss for 2 years before I went to Afghanistan, and I think I did a year in 5-1.
Yeah, so I
And
think
then
it was
came
like
to you
11
guys.
when you came in. So I was there in 10.
Yeah. So you spend 2 years there before you deployed to Afghanistan with our unit, right?
About a year and a half because we went in 11.
Oh, okay. So what was a highlight of, I guess, Fort Bliss and El Paso, Texas?
Oh, God, I'm going to think hard for that one.
Yeah, take a minute.
Oh, shit.
There's really not a lot of highlights from this fucking town.
It's fucking terrible. Dude, I tried to go fishing down there one time and I had to make like a 3-hour drive to find like a stocked catfish pond to go fishing. Like, you couldn't even go fishing.
Did you go Elephant Butte?
I think you were with me.
Elephant Butte has good fishing. It's like a huge fucking lake.
No, I didn't go there.
It's huge. I think it's in New Mexico.
Oh, I'll say this. Maybe not. It's not really an El Paso thing, but it's like a Texas thing. I went to go get that fishing license to go fishing for that day.
Yeah.
Cost me nothing. Texas gave it all to veterans. They literally handed me a book of every tag and animal that you can hunt for free
You're like fucking
because they're like
giraffe?
veterans. Yeah,
Dope.
dude, literally, like if it's huntable there, everything except like waterfowl because that's federal.
Yeah,
That's
regulated.
That's regulated by the feds.
Yeah, because we went and did the same thing. Who was I
They're
with?
like, if it breathes,
I
you
think it
can
was
shoot
me.
it here.
Dude, I think it
No.
was me and you.
I went with Ezel, Burgess, and some other folks.
Oh,
And
maybe I went with
we loaded
Turner.
up in the back of a truck with bows, and we were driving out in the desert trying to snag coyotes because they don't have tag limits for coyotes.
Right. We don't in Iowa either.
Yeah, they just let you kill as many
shoot-
coyotes
yeah,
as
shoot
you
the
can
fuckers.
find. Yeah, so we would just drive around the desert and fucking smack coyotes.
You know-
like 40 miles an hour out of the back of a truck bed, just what?
The thing is, with coyotes, you're never going to quell the population.
Yeah, they're fucking. They're always. They're
have-
always fucking. They're
No,
always fucking.
They literally have something like
It's
in their like their chem.
It's in there. Yeah.
in their,
If
like,
you
DNA.
if you kill one in their pack, the females release more eggs.
Yeah, it's like they literally know the population of them within a certain area, And depending on the population's high, they'll have smaller litters. If the population gets low, they'll have bigger litters to keep the population.
Yeah, they're like
at an even kill.
They're
so
like
it's
small wolves.
It's about impossible to get rid of those stupid things.
They're like small wolves.
Yeah.
So I want to do a fun thing to where, so we're getting up to the deployment thing. So we're going to talk heavy on the deployment. But before we do that, let's jump the timeline to what he does now. Is that cool?
No.
You don't want to do that?
No.
So we want to roll into the deployment?
Yeah.
So you're
so when you deploy, where do you go? Like, where are your plane hops?
Let's see.
We'll talk about the lead up to the deployment first too. Like, what information do you get about the deployment?
Did I get shit? I didn't get told nothing.
Really?
Like you told me about the heart ram story. No one told me a goddamn thing. They just told me be there here at this day. You're going on a plane. You're going to a foreign country.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. My little tidbit that I'll just add to this story was like we would do Zoom calls with the leadership that was already over in the camp that we were going to go to.
Mortars were falling in the background.
They literally,
I remember that.
Zoom calls would get exploded. Like their internet would just go. They would be like, "Yeah, it's really bad here," and then it looked like a jihad terrorist video, and they're like, "It's really bad here. People are dying." Da da da, and then it would just go black, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And they would call us like a week later, to be like, "Yeah, sorry, we took a mortar round straight to the antenna." Like we were like, "Oh fuck!" So like immediately, my sergeant not sergeant major, my sergeant basically, squad leader stops me.
Sergeant Hart.
Staff Sergeant Hart, shout out to that dude. He's crushing dicks, snapping dicks. He pulls me aside, me and a couple other privates, and he was like, guys, he's been in the military for 12 years at this point, multiple deployments. He's been to Fallujah. He's killed a lot of people. And he pulls us to the side, and he was like, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. This deployment is going to suck dick. And this is coming from a grown-ass man who has seen it and done it. And I was like, wow, if he's scared. I was like, fuck, this is going to be bad. So take off from that. So what are your, like he was asking, what are your plane hops like? Where do we stop? Where do you go through?
Well, we left
like
from
to get there.
El Paso base, and what we hit. God, I went through two different ways because I came back a different way. Do we go through Germany on the way out there?
Yeah, Ulm, I think.
Yeah.
ULM, Ulm, Germany.
Yeah, and they kept you guys in like a separate area?
Oh, yeah, we were. You did not interact with public there.
Yeah.
But I remember I went to R&R. Oh, we'll get to that later. But I flew to like Ireland another time.
Yeah.
But I think that's when I was on my R&R trip. But then we jumped to...
well, when you were in Germany, did you smoke a cigarette with Jake? Jake knew. Jake said he went to go smoke a cigarette, and they had like an indoor room that you could smoke cigarettes in.
Yeah.
And he said it was like locked.
Yeah, we had to go outside. They wouldn't let you shit.
Yeah, they don't. We're segregated.
Yeah, dude.
It was like the 50s over there, dude. It was wild. Remember, they like kept us away from everybody.
They didn't want World War III.
I'm serious, bro. I'm not joking.
Bro,
they were like, stay the fuck away from all the normal humans.
They literally gave us we didn't. They didn't even pull the plane up to the terminal. Like they left you on the tarmac. Bro. They brought a stair down there, and you walked down the stairs, and you walked into this tiny little chunk of the airport that is like gated off and locked off from the rest of the airport, and you can't go anywhere.
You know what was sick?
I would say this Germany they did have a little like hot food counter where you could get food and shit.
Yeah, they had a nice.
So that wasn't bad.
Those crowds had it set up right.
Yeah,
they treated us very nice.
Get some bratwurst and stuff. Like
some Wiener Schnitzel. But dude, what I will say about Europe that they are doing right, back to the tobacco thing, they do a thing called snuff. Now, snuff. I had never heard of until I've heard the term before, but I didn't really know what it was. It was popular in America like way back in the 1800s. It was popular for a long time because of Europeans. Well, they still do it to this day. Basically, do you know what espresso coffee grounds look like? Like it's almost like a fine powder, like. Yeah, and it turns into powder.
Tobacco.
Basically,
tobacco in that.
It's tobacco cocaine. Let's call it what it is. Like you literally do a little bump on your hand here, and you snort it up in there. Like it comes a little packet, you tap a little out, and snort it, and it's like menthol.
Yeah.
You want to talk about waking up?
Yeah, that'll get you going.
Yeah, if you're half asleep, do a bump of that in the morning. Your eyes are up, and you're going.
I loved it. Being a smoker at the time, and then I did snuff. I was like, damn,
that like weightlifter body powder wasn't really around yet then.
See, we were in an era that we couldn't get a lot of the stuff, but there's pre-workout and shit then.
It was just starting in
Jack 3D was huge then.
That's how that kid died.
The kid died at Fort Bliss on Jack 3D.
Jack 3D, a monster.
Yeah, well, two of them almost died. Doc saved one, survived, but the other one didn't make it.
Yeah, he died right in our company.
Blew his heart out.
So you talk about like when you land and then you take a helicopter to your base.
Yeah, so actually that's like the third plane trip because you fly.
There's a lot of planes.
You fly from El Paso to Germany. The East Coast.
Or to East Coast, Maine.
To East Coast, Maine. Then
Maine
you
to Germany.
You go Maine to Germany.
Germany to Tajikistan.
Germany, you say that better than I do.
Tajikistan.
I could whatever it was. It was crazy. But fly from there. Then you fly from there to
Kuwait.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Kuwait?
Yeah, it was what's the base? Bagram in Kuwait. It was Bagram Air Force Base. You fly into Bagram.
Bagram is in Afghan. Bagram is in Afghan.
Yeah, right. What was that? It's a big
I think we went from Kuwait to
It was
Bagram.
Kuwait. You went from Kyrgyzstan, Kuwait to Bagram to Shank.
Then to our shithole.
Then Shank, that's when you're done with the plane rides.
Yeah.
And then you get on a helicopter. Did you ever tell them about the combat landing?
Yeah, when you guys landed and they were like getting shot and they
No, like how they combat land a plane.
Oh my.
Did you ever tell them about that?
No, I never have.
Bro.
Dude, tell them.
First time you experience this, they don't give you any warning, by the way.
No fucking warning, dude.
You literally think you're going to die. So you've been on a plane you've been up for like 3 days trying to travel and make these flights. So you're fucking exhausted.
You're trying to sleep on pounds of gear.
Trying to sleep on the planes when you get a chance. So you're like dead asleep, just trying to catch up on some sleep when you're on the plane. And all of a sudden this plane will do what they call a combat landing, where they literally like, I'm not sure how they do it, but they throttle back, they turn the plane sideways and let it free fall drop.
Yeah.
And you literally go weightless. And then they'll flatten it out and you'll catch. And then they'll turn the other way and those free fall drop. So basically they're making it so like they're sporadic and they're moving harder. So if they do take fire, they're harder to hit. So not straight line trajectory. And they'll do all this all the way to the ground, get right to the ground and just land you and stop you.
Yeah, like
But
if you watch it, literally you can pull up videos of it, but they're like doing these weird acrobatic movements and then like all the way to the tarmac, like right before they hit the tarmac, it finally levels out and then you hit the tarmac.
Yeah.
Like it's the worst experience.
Dude, you go from, it's like normally when you fly in a plane, they go from cruising altitude and like miles away, you start your gradual descent.
Yeah. This is abrupt.
No, they stay at cruising altitude and drop.
I think we were actually higher too. I think it was like 35
we're
or
way
40,000
up there,
feet.
and they just drop, and they don't warn you. So you're literally half asleep. The next you know, you're weightless, and you think you're dying. You think the plane's going down.
Right.
So I deployed a second time.
Yeah.
So it was hilarious. I knew when we got close. So I was excited because I knew it was coming. I knew we had a bunch of new privates and people that never deployed.
This is how an infantryman thinks, by the way.
Like, I gotta see these reactions. I gotta see these reactions of these kids. So we had these brand new like privates with us in our platoon, like 10 of them, and they're sitting like right next to me. And all of a sudden we do that, and all of them just go,
yeah.
like what?
Their arms are like raising.
There's a stream of piss floating in the air.
It's like a fucking turd just floating.
It's not long. It's like 2, maybe 3 seconds that you go weightless, and then you feel the as you level out. Then you go weightless for like 2 or 3 seconds, and it's
the whole experience. You go from like 20,000 feet to the ground very fast.
Yeah, it's over in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, but you just get no warning of it. And then you talk about your sphincter puckering.
Oh, dude, tight butthole.
Yeah,
tight
go
butthole
from
syndrome.
sleeping to think your plane's crashing over a foreign country that you're at war with. Like, god damn it, we don't have bullets at this point.
No.
We're not even armed. If we go down, we have guns, but we don't even have ammo for them yet.
Yeah,
like
no.
we're fucked.
You're fish in the desert.
And then so you guys land at your base in helicopters, and basically they get shot, like, right?
So the way you land at our cop, do you want to talk about how they brought people in? Because like for me, it was the new moon. It was like
only
zero.
Fly at night, middle of the night. Because
and why is that?
you fucking get shot down if you flew in the day.
Yeah, they often shoot at our helicopters, like aggressively.
Yeah. So what's funny is like I actually flew into country, I think, at Chalk before you. Mm-hmm. So I was actually in country before Day was. But
what's a Chalk?
Chalk is be like the
dumbing this down for the listener.
So you only fit so many people on a plane, so they call them Chalks. So this group is Chalk 1. This group is Chalk 2. It's just how the Army
just an
talks.
identifier.
Yeah, they could say Group 1 or Group 2, but the Army's got to complicate it.
How long are these helicopter rides?
That wasn't very long.
Like an hour, maybe 45 minutes. From Shank?
I think as the crow flies, I thought it was only like 20 miles.
Is it? Maybe no, it's longer than that. I mean, that drive was a fucking bitch. But
I don't remember. But yeah, so it's like a 40-minute flight. The Chinooks that they bring you in, they move pretty fast.
Well, you got brought in on a Chinook?
Yeah. I got brought in on a Chinook.
What?
Yeah.
I got brought in on a Blackhawk.
No, Chinook.
But I also came in like alone because they sent me to Fall Walton here for a goddamn month by myself.
What's the difference between a Chinook and a Blackhawk also for the listener?
A Blackhawk holds what?
8, 10.
Yeah, 8, 10 people. A Chinook will hold 30 and gear.
Yeah, tons of gear.
Yeah, a Blackhawk's got 1 top rotor. A Chinook has 2.
And turbines. Yeah, they move fast.
Yeah, well, the Blackhawk's got turbines. Blackhawk's turbines too.
I don't know how to spell it. I think it's Chinook.
If it was like a 20-minute window, you could probably fly in during like the call to prayer.
No, that call to prayer is only like 5 minutes. I'm telling you right now, half of them ain't praying, especially if a helicopter comes in.
Yeah, this is the
C-40. That's the Chinook. Yeah.
They even have a picture of a Humvee. This is how large it is. You can literally put a Humvee in a tank inside of a Chinook.
Yeah. What's crazy about that is like
They do that too. It's wild.
The special forces, like the pilots that drive those things, they can hover those things and drop the back ramp, and they can pick people up off of rooftops of buildings.
Scroll down a little bit.
Sides of mountains.
I'm sure you can get it. I'm sure there's a picture of them picking up dudes off a mountain.
The shit they can do with those things and how they can fly them is crazy. But the thing is, like, I heard those Chinooks, those blades are like a second out of time. They'll cut each other in half and take the whole helicopter down.
Yeah, this picture right here. Air data news to the bottom right.
There's
Picking
one
them up
of
off a
these.
mountain. It's crazy.
There's one of these helicopters, and it might be this. There's like two of them out there that are aircrafts that shouldn't fly. Like on paper,
I think the Chinook.
That's one of them.
Actually, the Apache's one. The Apache on page. No, the Apache should be able to fly, but it shouldn't be able to hover. But it can.
Yeah.
The Apache, for the way it's designed, shouldn't be able to hover, but it can. The Chinook, I believe, is one that shouldn't be able to fly.
Yeah,
but
they came out with it for during Vietnam.
And then the AC-130 is another one that shouldn't fly. The C-130 cargo plane or AC-130 combat cargo plane.
I'm not sure.
It's the big. It's not.
I know what the AC-130 is. Big plane, but
they have the gun package on it. But I believe that one shouldn't be able to fly either.
But anyways,
AC-130 is like the gun package. We threw in like a C-130, which is like the
you come in
package.
at night also.
Yeah, they don't fly during the day. My sergeant major did once, and he about got taken out by an RPG.
So what's it like when you land?
Dude, it's madness because you're
all that adrenaline.
And it's pitch black. You don't know the lay of the cop, and they're like, "Yeah, we're coming in now." And you look down, and dude, our cop was the size of a football field.
Don't be exaggerative. It's 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay, yeah. Well, if you count the Guard of the World compound, we had the Guard of the World compound off to the side that kind of took up like half our core of our base. So yeah, it's probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, you can actually find pictures of it too.
Dude, it's ruins. Have you seen it lately?
No, just Google. Delete all that and go COP.
CCOP.
Yeah, CCOP. Sorry, so 2 C's. CCOP.
Chark.
So space CHR or CHARKH, and then see what pops up. So this is actually
that's Steele, dude. That's Steele's video right there. There's Jacob Steele, middle row on the bottom.
This is all pictures of us, actually.
Yeah, that's when Steele took the round to the top of the helmet.
Yeah, that's our buddy here got shot in the fucking head.
Jacob Steele took a round on the top of his helmet. That's Jesus Christ.
There's Command Sergeant Major
right there. Oh shit, there is Sergeant Major.
101st Air. Oh, that looks like him, anyways.
No, that's 101st. I don't know.
But anyways, yeah. So it's a tiny little shithole place. You're literally in the middle of a valley.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. Everybody's got high ground around you. Like they're just shoot down on top of you. Like,
you're actually smart. So when you land, you're like, "Why here?"
Dude,
because this is downhill. Yeah. And Brian's just like, "Oh, hill."
Yeah. I'm like, man, this is a fucking sweet setup. Man, y'all got an Xbox around here?
He's like, it's colder in the valley, right?
But dude, like you get off and people are yelling at you which way to go, and the helipad is so small that if you didn't get behind like these T-barriers, the concrete barriers they had set up on the helipad, if you didn't get behind it, there's this slope, and the helicopter would take off, and the downforce on that plane would take your legs out from underneath you, and you'd go flying down the slope and fall on your ass.
Yeah, these helos have a lot of downforce.
They put a lot of downforce.
It's insane how much weight they can.
Dude, you try
lift.
to when you run into the back of one of these things, there's a point where you hit the jet wash, and you can't breathe for a split second until you get out of that jet wash.
It's wild. It's
so,
wild shit.
What was it like? So, how long are you on base before you leave base for the first time, or the Cobb?
A day. I think the next morning I was doing a mission because I was late. You guys were already been there for like a month doing left seat, right seat because I got sent to another FOB to do a class on a machine gun.
What is left seat, right seat for the folks?
So left seat, right seat. So like there's a unit that's already there, and then they start shipping guys out, and we start shipping guys in. Well, those guys will do missions together. The unit that's there and our unit.
They're just basically exchanging
It's pretty
notes.
much learning the AO and like
area of operation.
Getting a handheld through like missions. What you're working with, what happens here, what goes on here.
This dude's a dick.
Reference Stumps episode.
Yeah.
Wow, I stroked out there. Stumps episode. Fun. He was a driver or a scout or what was he, a navigator? Something along the lines. He was in the Humvee. And he had like a top view, actually. But he had like a playbook that he had like written everything down on, like, hey, these are hot zones. This area here is like...
Yeah, it's pretty much going over that.
It was his, what do you call those?
His quarterback playbook on his...
It's the little pages that you set up with markers and stuff when you set a gun. Whatever.
Oh, it's...
what do you call those?
It's your sector sketch.
Yeah, sector sketch. He had a bunch of those for different places set up in his turret. So when they would stop at a frequent town, he had a sector sketch for this town.
Yeah.
Different landmarkers and stuff.
Sector sketch.
But yeah, basically that's it. It's just like left seat, right seat is just like transference of information.
So you get settled in for one day and you go out on a mission where you like...
Literally, when I flew in, my helicopter dropped me off and picked up the last of the 10th Mountain Group guys. Like I was the last one in, but I was like one of the first ones in the country. But I was at another FOB for a month by myself doing a stupid class. So I was like one of the last ones that flew in, and the helicopter picked up the last of them. So literally, we were in charge now. We were 100% the force there, and literally, I don't know what time I flew in, but I didn't get much sleep that night. Yeah. Woke up the next morning, like, hey, we're going on a mission. I'm like, I don't have bullets yet. So they went and got me some ammo. I'm like, here we go, we're going on a mission. I'm like, fuck, like I haven't been out here yet. Like,
hey, what's Afghanistan like, guys?
Like I haven't been outside the wire anywhere yet. Like this is scary. Like
meanwhile, 2 dudes have already been blown up. 1 dude's been shot.
Right.
Like, no, the day 1 for me, because I got there, like you said, I was one of the first.
You were one of the first, like actually on our COP.
Yeah, doing mission. So I started the left seat, right seat process with 10th Mountain. And the first mission I go on was to go to 2259 and do a rotation up there. So I'm set. This is a mountain that we would help guard, basically pull guard on top of to protect the COP.
God, fuck those mountains.
So we would go up to 2259. That was my first mission. So I go up this mountain. I finally make it up there. I'm sucking all the fucking cock, dude. Like just sucking dick. Just fucking sweating your dick off. People don't talk about the elevation in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
You're 11,000 at base level. You're 11,000 feet above sea level. And then you have to climb a fucking 5,000 foot mountain on top of that.
2259 was what we're
5,000 feet. 5,000 feet. Because that was 2259 meters.
Yeah.
So it's roughly.
Yeah, that was the meters in elevation above us.
Roughly 5,000 feet that you had to climb. So you get up there, and I'm doing my Overwatch, and I watched the first mission be conducted. And the first mission that is conducted, homeboy gets blown up with a fucking RPG. And Holmes, Holmes, our first mission, we had a guy with the last name.
I was there.
Holmes.
I think I had just gotten in the COP.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember him. I met them carrying him in.
Yeah, he's standing next to a wall, and an RPG splashes into the wall right fucking next to him.
Shrapnel to the neck.
Yeah, and he took shrapnel to the neck and almost fucking died. He's still alive. Shout out to Holmes.
Yeah, he survived.
He's got a gnarly scar.
Second platoon guy took shrapnel to the back of the leg too.
Yeah, that's how we got introduced to this place.
Yeah,
it was like day 1. They were like, "Hey, go fuck yourself."
Let's put it this way: like the company we replaced out there, I think they had enough Purple Hearts for everybody in their company to have 2, and that's like 100 and some people.
Yeah, right. It's a small camp.
They lost like 11 dudes.
11. They lost 4 in one truck fire.
Yeah, like
one truck caught on fire, and they just lost 4 dudes.
It was crazy. Like it was one of the hottest areas of operation. I try not to use like.
What was your first mission like though for you, other than like a bunch of anxiety?
Yeah, you get
going
your
out
ammo.
The wire.
You get your ammo, and then what was your first mission like? What do you remember?
I want to say it's like a KLE. We like marched out to a fucking mission.
What's a KLE?
Key leader engagement. Pretty much, it's what we did all the time. It's just an
excuse
excuse to go walk
with, like,
around.
the
And they go talk to the village leaders, and we pretty much just wait to get shot at. So that's pretty much what it is.
You're just bait.
That's what it is. That's what we did all the time. We just walked until someone shot at us, and then went and tried to kick their ass.
And that's a common misconception as well. That people hear infantry and like think Afghanistan. People think desert, and they think up armored vehicles, tanks, trucks.
No, we were on foot.
Everything that we did, I think we got in trucks like
3 times,
4 times.
No,
our entire
it was
deployment.
3. It was 3 because the third time they tried to kill me.
Yeah, so 3 times we got in vehicles. Every other mission other than those 3, we conducted 3 missions a day, every day for 300 days. And for those 300 days, you're doing 3 missions a day, just constantly rotating, and it's all on foot, miles. It was
what was it like shitting in the desert?
And that's another misconception. It's not a desert. Look up.
Well, you shit in somebody's house.
Yeah, I shit in a bunch of houses.
Yeah,
Dude, I jerked off on patrol.
Like that's what I try to tell people all the time. Like,
just look up Chark Logar, Afghanistan. So CHARKH. I want Thomas to see this.
Like,
LOLOGAR.
Like orchards and trees and valleys, but then you get like that's down on the bottom of the valley. Then you get out
GHAN
on the edges, and then it is mountainous and deserty. But we literally did missions with snow up to our balls.
Thomas, hit that first picture to the left here.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. It's like half desert, half lush green.
Oh God!
Look, there's Brian rubbing one out.
That's me taking a knee. It's me taking a knee.
I recognize that photo. Our COP is just off to the side of that photo.
Yeah, so it's a weird place. I tell people it looks like a deserty Colorado.
Yeah, dude,
very mountainous, but very green.
Yeah, if you're down in the bottom valley, it's very green. There's fields, trees, and lush, like orchards and shit. You get towards the base of the mountains, it goes to shit shale rock and sand.
It'd just be like going to
open.
Arizona, then going up in altitude. The altitude is what allows the green.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about vegetation.
But here, it's like it's the lower altitude where all the vegetation is. It's the water. All the water runs off the mountains down to the bottom, and then they use their.
It's
irrigation.
a neat spot though. Like if people weren't dying there every day, like it's a neat spot.
Yeah, if
like,
someone wasn't
cool.
actively trying to kill you every time you go out, but it'd be kind of like a cool place to go visit.
Do you have any like Brian took a shit in somebody's house, rubbed one out in the field? Like, do you have any off the wall like?
Did you ever do anything weird on patrol?
I mean, I think we all rode one out in some weird spot. You know, just stuck out overnight and whatever. You know that shit happens, but
Yeah.
I think that's happened. Taking a shit in someone's house, yeah.
Speaking of
They shit in their own house. You guys realize they
Hey.
don't have plumbing. Their plumbing is literally a pipe that comes out the wall.
taking a hole, or
We had a guy on that watched a girl get 300 Spartan kicked off her roof.
yeah, dude, they killed this young girl, dude.
She was like going on top. He wasn't in Afghanistan.
Yeah. They had one of those rooftop gardens, and she was like fucking around on this rooftop garden.
Her husband was up there gardening, and she brought him up some
Food,
something to drink,
something,
and then she must have forgot the sugar in his sweet tea or something.
and she got Spartan kicked off a 3-story garden.
What?
He Spartan kicked his wife off the garden of
That's
his
crazy.
Well, he
rooftop.
probably has like 2 more. So
Oh yeah, he's not his only one.
Hey, speaking of guys, I hate to do this. Speaking of taking a shit, I gotta take another shit.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a quick time out and we'll be right back, okay? We're back. Sorry guys. I'm gonna have to do a hair of the
No,
dog.
but did you have any like crazy experiences like that, like watching some like crazy barrier thing of like
you ever,
this guy
you
getting
ever
pushed
tell a story
off?
about watching the guy and the goat from the raid camera?
Yeah, you said it was a goat, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't fucking kidding, dude.
Yeah. We
Can I
literally
get that huggy right next to you? The TDG huggy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys watched a guy fuck a
Literally
goat
watched a guy
through some
fucking a goat.
binoculars.
Dude, remember
It's so
you remember
funny,
they always
though.
called Andy
Cheska.
Kunicheska?
Yeah, Kunicheska.
They literally tried to trade us for this soldier we had because he was a little small guy and he was kind of boyish
fuck, he
young
was-
kid.
he was
and they
cute,
wanted
though.
to trade him because they literally wanted to trade him. Kunicheska was literally like their fuckboy.
God bless you.
Thank you.
It's
No, man. Yeah, Kunicheska.
Well, we had another guy, Stumps episode again, where he was talking about their translator. It might have been Stump or somebody else, but he was talking about how he wanted to. He went all the way over to this girl's house because he was like courting her, but their families had like the ties. Because over there, like you're at war with your neighbors or whatever half
Yeah,
the time. It's like family
it's like-
feuds from
it's
like 200
family
years.
feuds are dude.
They'll mortar
It's crazy.
their
They
neighbors.
live in like they think it's like the 1700s. Like it's nuts. They had a castle in our AO. There's
They
a
did.
fucking castle in that valley that we were working in.
Yeah. We actually got in a couple fights.
The
in
guy
said
at the liquor
castle.
store that you're into, he says that there's like
Nick.
neighbors launching mortars across the street at each other.
Are you talking about
basically.
Nick?
Yeah.
Nick was
Yeah.
overseas?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I'll have to talk to him about that.
But
Hey, Nick,
this guy
shout
was
out.
talking about how he was trying to court this girl and he went all the way over there and she wouldn't come outside. So he's like, I didn't go all that way that far and risk my life not to fuck. So I fucked her goat.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
dude, it's crazy. Like
Dude, also,
kids, like women over there are like they're for reproduction.
yeah, reproduction only.
If they want to just have sex and have fun, they're gonna take a young boy or a goat, and that's what they're gonna fuck.
They're kids over there, guys. I'm serious.
Serious.
Like all jokes
100%.
aside, we're
They
not
are.
joking. They their goats, their livestock, their children. They do not fucking care. They hold human life.
So all of
But you gotta
Epstein's
think-
customers are going to visit
But
there now.
people think this is crazy, but you gotta think like their kids are getting married at like 14, 15. Like
Yeah.
they're having kids by
Right.
like 16.
Women aren't allowed to go to school there.
Nope.
So like little girls,
Well, they did when we were there.
because we enforced it.
We
Right.
we guarded the school was actually like incorporated into our base, and we guarded the school.
So back onto, I guess, timeline.
Did you answer the question though? As far as what's
It's
the weirdest shit?
watching a guy fuck a goat.
Oh man,
The weirdest shit you ever saw on patrol, or like, do you have a crazy story like that you saw and you're just like, what the fuck?
nothing like comes to mind. That was a crazy like
There's so much shit that you
Well,
see
I
over
mean,
there.
the guy stepping on the landmine getting thrown over the wall.
Oh fuck.
It looked like a drumstick that you shredded with a fork.
Yeah, that was
Just
pretty rough.
Bones sticking out. I remember that one. That was crazy. That dude was like 20 feet in the air. That was nuts.
What was so weird?
I was on the other side of the compound.
Tell that
and I
story.
saw the
Tell
shadow
that
of the
story.
dude like, go up there. Dude, so we were way out. We
Yeah.
were clear out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the hell we were doing out there. I can't remember why we were there.
I don't know either.
But we like
probably
stopped-
key leader engagement.
Probably key leader engagements. You gotta go talk to a village. But we were forever away from our base. And I just remember we were sitting there pulling security. And the A&A they don't really pull security. They kind of just wander around.
And that's the
The
Afghan
Afghan National Army. It's their soldiers. So this Afghani guy's just kind of wandering around, I guess. I couldn't see him because I was on the other side of this compound. But I heard the explosion, I turned and looked, and over this compound, I saw this dude ragdolling like 20 feet in the air over the wall.
The funny thing about this story that he is not telling, and I don't know if you saw the footage afterwards, but we recorded the video with that same eye in the sky that saw that dude fucking the goat. This eye in the sky can see the whole valley. Yeah. So they're watching our soldiers as they're making movements and stuff. So they're watching them in this village doing these KLEs or whatever. And they're watching this dude get blown up. And basically the wild shit about this story
that they added music and slow-moed it and reversed it and played it back and forth. They put it in like TikTok form, and it was like just going back and forth. Passed it around the military base.
No, but dude, the wild shit about this story is that it happens on the corner of a building, okay? There's an IED buried in the ground on the corner of this building. They did that because they know that we pull security on the corners of buildings. We usually post up and you wrap around the corner and you watch your sector or whatever. So they know someone is going to hit this IED and they're waiting. I think it was a pressure plate.
It was pressure plate.
So, and it's built for a human. So as soon as human weight touches it, it makes the connection and then it goes off. So anyways, this bomb is there the whole time and we're pulling security in this village for a while.
Yeah.
And there are multiple soldiers like walking past this corner, pulling security on this corner. American soldiers.
They literally just stepped in the perfect place and missed the pressure plate the
dude,
whole time.
I'm telling you, like our guys were on that same corner. Like in the video, you watch our guys like, oh shit, there's Hood. Like there's my buddy. And he's pulling security on this bomb and has no idea that he's on a bomb. And then people were just like rotating and moving, and then all of a sudden this Afghan dude just pulls up on the corner, and then it's just a cloud of dust.
Yeah, just steps in the perfect wrong spot.
And in the video, you literally see like a leg go flying in the air.
Dude, his leg was like
is twisted,
like right here, and it literally looked like you took like a drumstick from a chicken leg and took your fork to it and just shredded the meat, just all hanging off there loose.
It was twisted. You see some sick shit in that fucking.
You remember when everybody was the greatest feeling in the world out there? Though I said this is probably one of the weirdest things that you kind of come used to. It's like, you know, everybody's inside the wire, and you hear that explosion off in the distance,
the thump,
and you know it's someone trying to set an ID and triggering it on themselves.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, got him. like fuck you. It's not one of us because we're all inside the wire. So you're like in the base, you hear that thump of that distant explosion. It's like, fuck you.
Eat my ass, bitch. You had a question though before I stepped on you.
No, I was gonna say, what was it like when one of the first situations where you were like actually in a gunfight? Like, was it just was it straight adrenaline, or was it like, oh shit, this is happening? Because like some people, they get like shell shocked right when it happens versus other people.
We had a couple people that got shell shocked. I'm not going to mention any names, but
it's not
their fault. It just happens. It happens.
It's not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, you can't train for it. So like, you do all this training to prepare for a fight, but until you actually get shot at,
it's different hearing rounds leave your gun and smack into something than hearing rounds
literally crack past your head.
Yeah, when you hear the snap,
when you hear the whiz, or
it's weird to hear a gunshot from the other direction and it's coming towards you.
A whiz isn't bad. It's when you hear it pop. When you hear it pop go by you, that means it's within a foot.
Snap.
It's close. Like they're not far off you. Like I've had it where they went so close to my ear, it made my ear ring.
Dude, you should. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
Can you text me that video and we'll show it with Hoodie?
Oh,
just so they can get a taste of what that's like. Can you text that to me? Is that textable?
Of, Garcia?
Yeah, is that textable?
Let me try.
Try and text that to me. And while you're looking that up, Duda will pull it up if you can text it to me. But yeah, so what he was saying is like, it really isn't uncommon that people would freeze up because you're just not used to.
Well, yeah, I just figured the first instance of gunfire is probably where that's going to happen.
It's intense. Your first fight is intense. I'd be lying if it took me a second to like. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah, you got to take cover, but then you got to take a minute.
I can't send it to you because it's on his Facebook page, but I can find it on his Facebook page. You got him on Facebook.
We'll look it up. Not a big deal. We can add it in post. But basically, man, it was not uncommon that rounds were smacking all around us all the time. How many of our guys got shot? Like hit with a round? Like a dozen or more?
Maybe. It wasn't a lot.
Plates, helmets, hands. Carly got shot in the hand on Alamo.
Carly got shot in the hand.
3 guys shot in the helmet.
Garcia's,
Dodd,
Steele.
Dodd took one to the magazine.
Took one to the back.
Yeah. It wasn't, I'm telling you, dude, like it's scary. People joke about the Taliban not being able to fight, but dude, these motherfuckers are fat.
You know, the thing is, if they would like just train a little bit, it'd be fucking terrible.
Yeah, dude, they're lethal.
If they would practice like shooting and actually like aim down their sights, I believe Allah would guide their bullets, it would be brutal. Because there's several times that they should have had me dead to rights.
Oh, dude.
Dead to rights.
Did you get into any hand combat? Because wasn't there like, you said not necessarily your deployment there was, but like the first few deployments there was several hand
Not with us.
Not with us. We didn't get into hand combat. And I would never get into hand combat. If I'm getting into hand combat, shit's gone south. I carry a 5-foot, 22-pound weapon.
What's the closest you think the Taliban ever got to you? Like, what is the closest feet-wise that you ever saw a guy holding a gun?
Bro, Alamo.
Right?
They're like 100 feet down the hill from us.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary to be shot at and not see the individuals, which happens often. Because if you're looking at this picture of Afghanistan,
Right?
There's clout walls, trees.
You could be walking around anywhere, and some guy could just peg you from across the fucking. Some dude could peg you, but you could get fucking clipped from a dude hiding in a bush, and you'd have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of times they would dump a mag and run.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't even stand and fight. They just dump a mag and take off running.
This OP Alamo we're talking about, though,
Is this where you got the grenade thrown at you?
No, that was a different one.
That was in the city. There's a big city in this town.
Yeah, that's by the river. That was down by the bazaar.
And you were there?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there.
he was there. Hoodie took shrapnel. This guy Hood that we keep talking about, Hoodie, shout out if you see this dude.
Yeah, dude, Hood's fucking hilarious.
He took fucking shrapnel in his fucking
Oh my
dookie
God.
hole.
But you got to be kind of close to get a grenade thrown. Nobody's lobbing a grenade.
Actually, yeah, that's the closest I ever saw. But he didn't have a firearm. And you talk about guys like shell shocking and freaking the fuck out. That was a moment where I was shell shocked and freaked the fuck out. Like the guy was within like from me to my stairwell, and he's like behind a wall just bouncing. And all you see is this funny little hat that they wear. It's like this weird Afghani hat. You know what I'm talking about. And all I see is this little hat. And it's just like bobbing.
Yeah.
And Hoodie's pulling security to the left.
then a grenade comes
and
over.
I'm pulling, this guy's in my sector. And I'm like, what the fuck? We're in a crater from
But
like a...
the thing, like these grenades are so small that if you cup your hand, you can't even see it. You can barely see it. So
So even if he was standing with a grenade in his
he
hand,
literally
I
could have probably walked right
So
next
their
to...
grenades are different than like
They're
ours,
using like
or what we would
what were
see.
they? Little
grenades.
Chinese grenades. They're little tiny little things, but they could literally like have one in your hand and walk by you and drop it.
Why aren't we using like 3-man slingshots for grenades?
That's not
Do you know how long it would take to employ it up, and do you know what kind of open you're gonna have to set up in? Like, I'm not gonna be the little guy sitting there like on a knee holding the elastic band on one side, like, hurry up, man! They're shooting at us with machine guns, like in the open field, trying to get this grenade out. Like, I want to be able to step out and toss it and get back into cover.
Do you know what I mean when I say noob tube?
Call of Duty 203s.
Yeah. So tell them a little bit about the 203. That's basically a slingshot.
Yeah, I mean it's a 40 millimeter grenade that goes underneath the top bottom of it, and there's riot control rounds.
Sick.
There's ones that like shoot rubber bullets. There's one that shoot like HE,
smoke, flash, whatever you want.
On 2410, we tried to shoot a bird with Fuentes' riot 203 round with rubber bullets.
This is why the infantrymen get the label that they get.
You gotta use
Just shoot a bird with a grenade launcher.
Yeah, but it was like the riot control one that had like the rubber BBs in it. That's what we were shooting at, the stupid bird.
No, but that basically is like a slingshot with a grenade, though, and they go very fucking far.
Yeah,
they make a loud.
Was
fucking
there
boom.
ever any food over there that like you still think about?
Dude,
The footbread was really good.
the naan.
The naan.
The naan. That was, but it was the weirdest thing when they came and gave it to you because like,
Were you there when they killed that goat and we ate that goat? They brought it back to the base and we ate that goat.
yeah,
They slaughtered it.
yeah, and they brought us all over to like, yeah.
The goat meat's really nice.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain
it's
it.
probably tenderized from being fucked so much.
Yeah. That pussy beat up.
They're joking about it later, you know.
This was my wife.
Those Americans got my goat load, you know.
Yeah,
Does
Jesus.
this meat taste a little salty to anybody? I don't know what's going on.
But it's funny, like you'd be on guard down at the second gate, which is the ANA gate is what we called it, because it was right by the ANA compound. Because our base was kind of split up, where the ANA had their own section, we had our own little section. So we had two gates we manned: the U.S. gate, which prevented them from coming onto our side, and then the main way in. Because we also had like the governor's building was there too, so they had and we had to come up for the governor's building.
fuck that guy.
Had to go through us and stuff like that. So I was out down at that gate, and the Afghani nationals come up to me and the army. He goes, naan? And I go, yeah, I'll take some naan. The dude pulls it out of his plate carrier. Yeah. Like, it's like, he's wearing his body armor, and then behind his body armor, it's the naan, and then like his clothes, like, to his chest to keep it warm, because it's like middle of winter. And he like brings it out to me and hands me, like, I'm on guard, and I didn't even think about it. Like, oh, this guy's, dude, my plate carrier is gross. Nasty, sweaty, salty, terrible, disgusting.
Yeah, it's a little flavor.
And I took that naan like it was nothing. I sat there on guard and ate that shit like it was nothing. Like, thinking about it now, like, why the, like, if someone did it to me now, I'd be like, no, get the crap out of here.
Dude, that's another thing that is very underestimated about where we were in Afghanistan is like, you did some of the nastiest fucking shit.
Bro, there was like a 4-month period where we didn't shower.
Why didn't we?
Because it got blown up.
Because our showers got blown the fuck up.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that. How did they get blown up, and why did they get blown up?
They got blown up in it wasn't, of course, a mortar attack, right?
Yeah, it was just a mortar attack.
Yeah,
but what's a mortar for the folks at home that don't know?
Oh, a mortar's pretty much, Man, I don't know how to explain. It's a giant grenade that gets launched out of a tube.
Yeah, and the Taliban had a bunch of them.
Yeah, they use them in IEDs.
How often did we get hit with mortars?
Dude, about every day.
It was not.
It's almost like clockwork.
And if you had to explain the sound of a mortar when it impacts, if you had to relate that sound to anything, what do you tell people it sounds like?
A fucking car crash.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
That's what I tell people. Have you ever heard two rail cars when they like rack into each other?
Yeah.
It's like that times two.
Dude,
it's loud. It's fucking loud. And it comes out of nowhere.
I got knocked off my feet by one.
And then people have this common misconception about mortars, and you're seeing it on
So
those
are some big ones. They were shooting like 82 millimeter mortars, which are a little bit smaller than that. Those are like 120s.
We'd catch 60s too.
60s and 80s is what we caught mostly.
Millimeters to be
millimeters.
clear. But you tried.
Well done.
But there's a common misconception about mortars and a confusion with artillery. People in movies think that mortars make a whistling sound when they come in. The most terrifying thing about a mortar is that
you hear
nothing.
You hear the thud when it's launched, right?
You don't even hear that.
They can be so far away you'll never even get it. If you're on the OP might catch a little dust cloud going up and get launched, and that might be the only heads up you get. But the problem is the OP is going to call into the TOC, which is like the command center.
Right. Yeah.
And by the round's going to hit before that information ever gets to the soldiers in the rooms and the peeves and stuff like that.
What's that crazy gun that you said they had?
The recoilless rifle?
Recoilless rifle. It's
old. Like a mortar.
It's a Russian-made cannon.
Yeah, it's like a mortar, but it shoots a projectile that has like a copper core slug on it, and it goes straight through armor.
If you've ever seen Blackhawk Down, there's a scene in that movie where they have the Somali guys that are trying to kill the Americans. They have a recoilless rifle set up like parallel to the ground, and it's mounted on the back of a truck. And basically, they open up the back of this cannon, load the shell into it, close the door, tighten the door down, and then they just basically pull a string, and that thing goes flying out at a ridiculous...
It'll go clean through a bunch of armor.
It's copper plated at the tip, and with the amount of compression and heat, that copper melts.
Turns molten and just goes straight through armor. Yeah. Burns straight through it.
When copper melts, it turns into a molten ball, and it'll go through.
They were doing that with
anything.
IEDs for a while in Iraq. They call them like EFPs, or like they're shape charges. They
Coffee cans.
Take a triangle or make a real shape and put a copper plate in the front of it. It was going through Abrams tank armor.
Yeah, it goes through.
And then, but the worst part about it is it goes through the first sheet of armor, like on a vehicle, then it hits the open space, and it rapid cools. Yeah. And now that copper bounces around inside the armored vehicle, like shooting a shotgun off there. BB's just going everywhere. With
That's
copper
the best case scenario.
People apart.
That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that it goes through and through, and then when it rapid cools and then goes out the other end, it creates a vacuum. And then when that vacuum is created, it'll actually pull everything from the inside out the exit hole. So like there's been instances of like human beings being dragged out of trucks, holes this big, because a shell went straight through and that vacuum pulled everybody from the inside out that fucking exit hole.
What makes you enlist for a second time?
Sure as fuck not Chark.
You know, they were like, we're going to a different area. He's like, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I haven't had this kind of non.
So at the time, like, I remember I was married with a kid at that point.
Yeah,
I was back married with a kid, and I didn't have a fallback plan. I didn't have a job lined up back home, and I'm like, I got a kid. I got
What's
a wife.
the time gap between your first and second?
No, it's continuous.
Oh, it was continuous.
He just went. He did 3 years.
I did 3 years, and I re-enlisted another 3 years. I did 6 years straight.
Yeah,
but
which is how most guys do it. Not often is it that guys get out and then go back.
You get to change location.
Yeah, I went to a way better fucking post.
Fuck El Paso.
He said this post had a Taco Bell.
Like, it did. It had a Burger King on it, man. It was fantastic.
They had American tacos.
Yeah,
None
man.
of that fucking real,
come back from the field
shit.
and you go get Burger King on your way home so you can get the MRE shits out of you quick. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, dude, I just had one a minute ago.
But yeah, I went to Fort Carson up in Colorado for 3 years, which, dude, was the most gravy thing I've ever done.
Carson.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was personal security for the brigade commander.
What does that mean?
I was a glorified chauffeur. I drove this guy around. That's all I did. Full bird colonel, brigade sergeant major.
Explain that to the listener. How important are these people?
Like, there's like 2 people that are higher than on the entire post.
Yeah,
like
these are important folks that you're driving.
Like they're in charge of thousands of troops. Like they're in charge of like 8 battalions.
And then what happens? So what are your like daily duties at Carson other than drive them around? Basically, what are some things?
Did they give you like a bow tie with you?
No, man. I was in uniform,
wearing a tux, driving a Humvee.
No, you just get the bow tie with your military.
They did let us do a class where it was like these guys that were like, I don't know if it was like special, like Secret Service or whatever. They did a lot of HVT movement stuff, so we did movement practices with an HVT because
like if
we know how to move, but our movement's not to grab a guy and protect his ass.
Yeah.
Like our movement's like it was weird for me because as an infantryman, I was always trained to move on the fight,
Close in
and
on the
this
target.
one was
evade,
run away from the fight, break away because you got a HVT. You can't let him get hurt.
What's an HVT?
Killed. High value target.
So
we have enemy HVTs that we want to take out, but we also have HVTs ourselves that we want to protect.
Yeah.
That's like brigade commander. He knows a lot of shit. He's got a lot of information going on. He's got troop battle plans, all this other shit. So taking him out
or if you can capture him,
capture him, that'd be the worst case scenario if your guy gets captured. It'd be better if he dies.
Do you think they intentionally grabbed you because you're an infantryman and they were like,
yeah, that's like that. My whole like. We was on like HSC brigade. There's only like 10 of us that were in the infantrymen, and that was because we were in that personal security.
Were you getting in any gunfights in that last?
No,
later
man. I went to Kuwait and fucking wore civilians and drove a GMC Yukon around and went to the airport and. Oh, man, we went swimming in a pool one time outside the base.
Brian was talking about how boring. Like a lot of people ask like, "Hey, how many bodies did you get?" You know, and Brian was saying like, "You never know."
Did we get 1, 2 that we actually brought back?
6.
If
you count that
the
bombing run.
Yeah, the Apache one.
The Hellfire missiles from the drone. The drone bombing. I mean, all in all,
what was that like seeing that?
Sick. The cool thing about that was, dude, it's exactly like Call of Duty. Like you call in a strike and you don't hear anything.
It's just
there's a drone flying at 60,000 feet or 50,000 feet or whatever.
And then
it's
a rocket
tiny little robot plane, and it just sends
like what
3 fucking missiles that are going to destroy.
It holds
like
what 3 or 4 Hellfires on one of those things, something like that.
God, it was terrifying. You're just
you remember what ended the Alamo fight?
I get chills thinking about it. Like you don't see or hear fucking anything, and it's just
I'm sorry. The coolest thing though had been the A10.
The A10 runs. What's an A10? Can you pull up a picture of an A10 Warthog, please?
Warthog, man.
And then
the
explain
sound
a little bit
of that gun. It's a plane that the military literally built this giant chain gun.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are we going to put this on? And they didn't know, so they literally built a plane around it. Like, this thing's fixed. The only way it shoots, it has to dive and aim its nose at what it's shooting at. It can't shoot flat because it'll about knock itself out of the air and stall the plane. It's got this giant cannon on it.
I think it's 60
I don't know
millimeter.
it's like a 60 millimeter cannon. I don't know how many rounds it fires a second, but when it fires, you just hear, it's just a buzz. And it just shoots rounds everywhere.
See if you can find a YouTube video of it, and we'll just play one real quick.
Dude,
turn the volume down on the MacBook.
God, you're going to make my dick hard if you
I
play
know.
it.
I'm getting chills. The coolest thing about Afghanistan is the arsenal in which you have at your disposal. I mean, we had A10 fucking Warthogs like doing these gun runs that you're about to see. Just do A10 Warthog gun run,
and then afterwards we're going to see a real life drag race in the Days Grimm studio.
Yeah, click gun run compilation. Sure, do that 2-minute one. Let's check this out, and then just watch the volume. Destruction. You don't get to see much.
You don't get to see much, but that's the rounds impact in there. Like that's the fire. It's not showing it, so you see it.
See it? See it?
Yeah, that's it shooting.
And then hear it. You see it before you hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's them blowing up tanks, bro.
Yeah, these things are wicked. But they're about impossible.
Fuck, I'm getting hard, dude. Shut it off, dude.
Those things are about impossible to shoot down, too.
Dude,
like,
my erection is showing.
Dude, that's...
it's
I
so
love
fun.
it, dude.
If you've ever played Call of Duty, like, that's what we did.
But you don't understand,
swear
like,
to God.
when you're close to those, when those goes close, you can feel the vibration of the rounds impacting.
Right. We've done danger close runs. So danger close is like anything within, like when American soldiers are too close to the kill zone.
Yeah, because if they miss by a little bit, they're going to kill you.
And I think danger close was like 500 meters. So
Something
like five football fields.
Danger close all depends on what you're shooting.
But we would have them do these gun runs like 5 football fields away from us.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking...
Dude, yeah, you can feel those rounds impacting.
So fucking hot. Oh,
just
God,
light up a whole tree line with it.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing, you hear that brrr of it firing, and then you hear the crackle of it actually like impacting.
Destroying
There's a delay,
shit.
and it was fucking...
Tear bodies apart, dude.
I love it. Especially when you're on OP, and you go watch them, like, they'd come below you. If you're up on the OP, they'd fly below the OP and do that run, and you'd see them from up there. God, fuck, I love it.
Oh, no, dude. It gets me fucking hard. So back to Kuwait. So what do you do in Kuwait? You're just really just still the personal detail driving
Yeah, man,
around?
I'm fucking a chauffeur.
Okay.
Drove a...
What was your favorite part about Kuwait?
Food.
The whole thing, the whole experience.
Dude, I had an Xbox there. I could play video games. I literally worked out, drove a Colonel like maybe once or twice, like maybe 4 times a week. I'd drive him somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I just work out and fucking play video games. I had my own room because everybody else is doing like training at night because it's so hot up there. And I was the driver. So they literally took like 3 of us and gave us our own fucking tent. We had our own room, just 3 of us. I didn't go to any formations. I didn't do shit. I reported directly to the brigade commander. Like he had a little LT that handled his schedule, and that's like my first chain of line. Other than that, and most of the time I didn't even talk to him. First lieutenant. No, he's a second lieutenant.
Who's that guy? He's not very important.
Nah, he's like a private of the officer
like
world.
a secretary.
Yeah, he's like the private of the officer world. He's like the fresh baby officer world.
Yeah, when you graduate college and go into the military as an officer, you're an LT.
Yeah.
That's where you start.
That's where you start.
You're a huge pussy, and nobody likes you.
So when you
Shout out Lieutenant Montoya.
do you think that second tour almost made coming home way easier on you than if you would have just came back home?
That second tour is why I got out of the fucking army.
Really?
Lame-o.
Dude, it was like a 9-month like stint over there.
What a fucking...
But I spent 9 months away from my wife and kid to do what I do stateside.
To do nothing.
To do nothing. To like just... I was in Afghanistan, you were in gear. If you were awake, you were in gear. If you walked outside of your room, you're carrying a weapon.
You could die at any
You were
moment.
in gear.
Right.
I went to this place where I wore my uniform from like 9 to 5, like I would normally at the garrison, and then was in civilians and had the evenings off to do whatever I wanted. And
by
like
civilians, you mean...
like what we're wearing now. This is
jeans
what we
and
call
t-shirt.
civilians. Like jeans
Yeah.
and t-shirts. I didn't even bring them with me. I had to have my wife send me some because I was like went from like Afghanistan. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking need those.
Yeah.
Like to this, I'm like, shit, I need fucking civilians. Like,
Yeah. That's fucking...
Also, was it dry in Afghanistan as well? No liquor?
oh yeah,
there's no
100%.
liquor anywhere. Yeah, you can't drink. It's
we're not the Air Force.
It's not like Vietnam.
Air Force can drink
I think that's fucked up, by the way.
because we went to that Kyrgyzstan base and the Air Force said we were allowed to drink or 2 beers a day because we went to the Air Force base and then could whatever that city was when we were flying out.
Airborne? Bob Airborne?
No, it was that Kyrgyzstan weird country.
Oh, Tajikistan.
Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, I can't
yeah.
say that fucking word.
Dude, I really do. I think there needs to be a push for if there's ever another major conflict, which I pray to God there's not for the sake of our troops. But if there's ever another major conflict, like I really do think that like they should really consider bringing alcohol back.
Yeah, let me drink a couple beers and
If I'm gonna potentially, at least in zones like this, at least in places where like I could literally die at any given moment,
Right.
like I could wake up and fucking die. I could wake up
you
dead.
can go to sleep and not wake up.
Did you
Exactly.
ever watch that Beer Run movie?
Let me have a fucking beer, dude.
Right.
Not get drunk, but a beer. Take the edge off. But what movie are you talking about?
Beer Run?
I've seen previews for it. The guy like brings a beer to like
it's
Vietnam or
based on
something
a
like
true
that.
story. Yeah,
guy brings.
Zach Efron plays the main guy, but like basically he was like the bullshitter of his town, and
What do you mean by bullshit?
like he would say something
Class clown.
Yeah, nobody would
You?
believe him. Like
checks out.
he would just say something and like nobody would believe what he said or whatever. But when he signed up, in the military, like we weren't at war, so he already did his time in the military. So then when Vietnam started, he didn't have to go. And so, but all his buddies and everybody goes to Vietnam, and he's like in a bar or whatever, and none of his buddies are in town. And the bartender's like, I wish I could give a beer to every one of the boys from back home that's over there. And he's like, I'll do that. And nobody in the town believes him.
Let me get a Busch Light.
Yeah.
Nobody in the town believes him. And so he loads up like a duffel bag full of beer and gets on like a cruise, not a cruise ship, but like a freight line ship.
And fucking goes on.
And then,
beer run.
then
Pop it near the mic, by the way.
Huh?
Pop it near the mic.
Near the mic.
God
bless you.
All right.
Sorry, it's a thing we do. It's religious. for
But yeah,
us.
like goes and delivers beer. But I think that should be. I think you should be able to
Man,
like
you-
at least
like-
one day. Like surely one day.
They used
like
to be like Vietnam. They used to be able to go buy 6-packs and stuff. I mean, they're warm, but
Who fucking
you ever
cares?
read Carlos Hascock's book? Oh, dude, a great book. He talks about going back and buying 6-packs of Budweiser after going out and sniping people in the face.
dude, I'm telling you, they need to bring that back. I'm serious.
I know.
These
Dude,
grunts out here
let
are
me
lifting.
let me go drink a 6-pack and smoke a joint after a fucking day. Let me unwind a little bit.
well, yeah, because talk about like drugs on base. Some people are getting like hung out.
Oh man,
on-
we got people that got popped up and pit tested.
This is really interesting. You brought this
There's
up.
marijuana and shit all through Afghanistan. There's
Well, yeah,
fields
the
everywhere.
Afghani
worse than that.
Kush.
Huh?
Worse than that.
Worse than that.
The poppy fields.
Poppy fields. There's all sorts of shit out there.
They have heroin,
Yeah.
pure black tar heroin. It's actually Afghanistan. All right, let's get into some weird conspiracy shit. I'm just saying that there's a reason why America is in Afghanistan. I'm saying that we killed the guy that we came to kill, but we stayed there. There's a reason. I don't want to say that opioids are involved, but opioids are involved.
Not only that, do you know how many like natural like resources are there?
Oh yeah,
like people were finding like rubies and like gems, like precious stones.
But
like, on
Afghanistan is the international hub for poppy, which is what makes opioids, which is what makes heroin, which is what makes painkillers, and like it's the central hub. Like that's where the most amount of poppy is. No,
where they take like 5 pounds of poppy seeds and you put it in like a gallon of water and you like shake it up for several days and then you make like sweet tea with it.
What?
Fuck yeah.
That'd be a fucking trippy tea.
Fuck, that sounds like a good fucking
You got to have like a business license in order to order that much poppy seed. We can actually do it.
Sick.
Wait, what?
But it's yeah, we're an LLC, by the way. Like this is official business. Yeah. So but that being said though, it's funny that you asked that question because we had a bunch of like
that you hear all kinds of people coming back from the Middle East with like opium problem.
Yeah. Our guys.
Yeah.
We multiple. Dozen probably. It was bad. It was bad. But anything to take the pain away and to forget the terrible shit, like we were talking about unwind, and some dudes just went way too far.
You had a wife and kids, so you probably didn't experience any Afghan hookers, but I've heard
actually,
of a few people.
Holy shit, we're going there. Okay.
Hey, we got right on drugs, so we're going straight to hookers.
When I was in Afghanistan, I was just married. I didn't have a kid. I didn't have my kid till after Afghanistan. So when I was in Afghanistan, I was married, but no, the closest thing I got to an Afghani hooker, and I got to look at a girl's ankles when she fucking walked by. Like that was the closest thing I've seen to a woman, man. Like, god damn, look at those ankles. Those are some good ass ankles. And it could have been a dude underneath that dress. I don't know.
If they have hairy ankles,
they all had hairy ankles. They didn't shave. What are you talking about?
That's true. I don't know. If they have a mustache.
Blue almost fought me. Blue, we were up on 2410. Blue had this certain guardship that he wanted every day we're up there. And it's because during that time, the lady at the village down below would come out back and would sit there and make nom like her feet and would come out there and pull her skirt up and would stomp the nom.
He's like, I get to see your calves.
He could be able to see, you know, from like the knees down, and this girl's like stomping on. I mean, that's the closest thing we got, man.
It's wild, dude.
That's why when they brought the FET teams in, they brought these female engagement teams. The FET
this
team.
is a good story.
And they
brought barrack rats.
Yeah, this is like chicks so they can interact with the women of the populace because we can't
as men we're not allowed to talk to the women.
Yeah, we can't interact with the women. So they brought these female engagement teams in
to the asshole of Afghanistan. Yeah, to the most dangerous place.
They came out there. We haven't showered in like 2 or 3 months at this point. They gave them different times to go eat at the chow hall. So they would go eat. So we wouldn't go. We could walk into the chow hall after they were there, and we could smell they were there. We could smell their perfume and stuff, and it smelled so fucking good. They had them under guard. They literally had their rooms away from us, and they were literally guarded.
So we're back to the segregation shit again.
They were so afraid,
serious, dude, that they wouldn't let us near them.
Yeah, they were so afraid that this 100 and some like dudes that have been sex starved for like 8 months, going through shit is gonna this poor female engagement team. Dude. They were so scared of it.
They were like protecting them with their life.
Yeah, we had 2 different teams out there because there's the one that got blown up. Then we had the one that about fell out of the movement, and Sergeant Garcia said he was going to leave her ass in the middle of the sector.
Yeah. But yeah, they basically showed up, got a taste of war, and left.
Dipped.
Like, they were supposed to be there for like 3 months, and they were there for 2 weeks. 3 days. Yeah. They
literally did like 3 missions with us, and they were done.
They peaced out. They're like, we ain't doing this. We're not trying to die.
I'm surprised the military doesn't give you like a patch of like different places you go to.
That's a unit patch.
So, but yeah, like you have your unit patch, but like, you know how like they got the different.
Oh yeah, they do. We have an QAF patch for 11 and 12. Oh, for our government, ISAF.
And then you got
that was an operation.
And then you got another one when you went to Kuwait.
No, because Kuwait wasn't a fucking combat zone.
Yeah, it's literally no guns.
Kuwait is going to become like a Germany. It's going to become a duty station like that. Yeah. It's going to become an O'Connor's duty station
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like North Korea.
Yeah, like North Korea, Germany, how we have bases there that we station soldiers at. That's what Kuwait's turn into. It's building into that.
I'm surprised they sent a female group over there because the men over there wouldn't interact or talk to the females at all.
The reason why we wanted the females is because we can interact with the men.
Right, but nobody can
interact with the females. So when something happens, we can't question the females about anything.
So when homegirl gets drop kicked off a fucking roof, we can't interrogate her and be like, hey, why'd you get kicked off a fucking roof?
Right. We can't do anything. So like with that female engagement team, we can interact with the men and they can go interact with the females, and we can get both sides of a story that way. Well, it didn't work out because they couldn't hang with the combat. And
so what was it like returning to civilian life? What was that transition? You said you were still on base for like, what, 2 years?
Yeah, so let's see. I got out in April of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-father-in-law got me a job. I went to work, and then I was divorced. Like, fuck. I bought a house, and then like a month, moved in the house for like a month, and then divorced. Done.
It's rough.
Yeah. So
Coming
it was fucking terrible. Like, not only was I already making the big transition for that, but literally I was making the big transition from like army to civilian life, and then to get divorced in the middle of it, get kicked in the balls. I was making $14 an hour.
Yeah.
Paying like $136 a week in child support, plus half of a house I don't live in, plus trying to get myself to work and pay for gas and everything else. I was living in my parents' like unfinished like stone basement, like just block walls, half framed in, like just a bedroom in a corner.
And then when you're alone with, and then he has to go to bed at night alone with his thoughts, and it's like, and just like 2 years ago he was fucking stacking bodies in Afghanistan, and now you're fucking in an unfinished basement working for $14 an hour,
right? And
you hate life. You hate life.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weird transition.
I was literally, I went to work just to be able to afford to go to work.
Right.
It's stupid.
Like, I had no money whatsoever. And then I was smart. I got divorced. Then a year later, I got an OWI. Then a year later, I totaled a truck. And I got a great 5-year plan going, man. Like, it was
fucking crushing it.
I was fucking fantastic, dude.
You're winning, dude.
Let's just get them all out of the way right now. Let's just knock them out.
Where in that sort of downhill events did start to go uphill for you?
I don't know if it ever really. I mean, I got a good job now. I'm in a bigger place. I don't know if it's really ever gone uphill. I think you just kind of accept where the fuck you're at. Like, this is what it's gonna be. Let's just do it.
Yeah, you're like, once you get out of the military, I feel like you're constantly like, a good analogy. When we were in Afghanistan, you had to climb these 5,000-foot mountains. It would be often that some guy would carrying like 200 pounds of gear would miss a step or step on some shale and lose his footing and tumble down a mountain. It happened to me. Happens all the time that you just go tumbling down a mountain. And I feel like getting out of the military is like that. You're just like falling down a mountain.
Eventually, you're gonna hit bottom. Eventually, like the time I did, I hit like the one little tiny bushy tree that was there, and it stopped my ass. But thank God we're coming down then.
Yeah,
because I would have been pissed if I had to fall down it and climb back up. Because when we were going to the mountains, I was carrying 1,000 rounds of 7.62.
Yeah,
I had 70 pounds of ammo in my backpack.
Right, you're tumbling with the 70,
plus food and water, plus my 22-pound gun,
tobacco.
At least you get to lay down there for a little bit while everybody else comes down.
God,
right?
It hurt so fucking bad, dude. Like I got like minor bruising and shit like that, but all I could do was just wrap up this 22-pound weapon so it didn't beat me in the face because it's tied to me with a sling as I'm going down this mountain. Yeah. And I just like rucksack. Oh, that was soft. Face rucksack, like just bouncing down this fucking.
Dude, there's something to be. It makes a man out of you when you fall down a mountain. I don't care who you are. Until you're not a man until you've tumbled down a mountain with 100 pounds of shit in a bag.
Just fucking
with a Walmart bag with all your shit in it.
God.
Dude, it'll fucking make a man out of you. The we're over an hour, and we try to keep these as close to an hour as possible. So I don't know. What do you want to wrap up on?
Well, I was gonna say, just along the lines of transitioning, was there anything that helped, like transitioning back into civilian life that you would like?
We talked about this a little bit last night.
Honestly, like there's a couple things like my buddies, like Day and my buddy Blue, or
other
David,
people you deployed with.
Yeah, we talked to those guys. I mean, I haven't talked to some of them in years, but I guarantee I could about hit up every one of them and just like Olsen, and I saw Olsen and Merkel a few years back, and literally hadn't talked to them since I left Bliss, and all of a sudden they hit me up and they're going to be at the Iowa State Fair, so I just saw them out of nowhere. And it was a great time.
Yeah,
fucking loved it.
You guys got fucking trashed.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah,
but just like those guys, having those guys, and then another thing I did was like it was kind of weird because like when you're in the military, you have like a rank structure.
Yeah,
so everything's structured. You know who you're supposed to be dealing with. You know who you're supposed to be talking to. Like as a specialist, I should not be talking to the first sergeant. Like it's a bad day if I'm talking to the first sergeant. So when I got out, I had a hard time of figuring out like where I fit in at work.
Yeah.
So I started just like assigning ranks to people in my head. So I knew how to talk to them.
Yeah, that's natural.
Like that's the journeymen I worked with, they were like the team leaders because they're like running the little jobs. The guy that did manpower and stuff and ordered materials for the jobs in the office. He was like your squad leader and like his boss of the platoon. So I assigned ranks to people, so I knew how to like interact with them.
That's natural.
And that's what I did to just figure out how to talk to people. Because otherwise, I don't know if I should be talking to you. Because in the Army, there's certain ranks you should not be talking to.
Okay,
if you're
so on this rank of people, what's that homeless man at the stoplight? Is that like a...
Oh, dude.
Oh, I don't do it for everybody. I did it for like people I work with. Like...
That's like the goat that somebody's going to fuck later. Hobo joke. All right. Crushing it. Hey, so what I think is a good question to elaborate with Thomas off of what he was asking is like, what about, so we're like your day to day, like having your friends that you can reach out to that have been through the same shit helps. But like, what about like those nights when like you are alone with your thoughts and like you do have that really, really, really those dark moments? Like, do you have something that you cling to that like
My kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what kind of
100%.
pulls you out of any
100%.
bad spot that you're in.
100%.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna quit. I got a kid.
Yeah, man.
She needs her dad.
It's a shaky situation to be in whenever you go from, you know, I made a joke last night. We were hanging out drinking. And I was like, do you ever get sad to think about like you'll never be that cool again?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, I was the most badass I'll ever be. Like I'm never gonna get back to that
now
level
you're just
again.
some dude
out there toting machine guns and shooting shit and
Guns that you're never allowed to touch again.
yeah, like just.
It's hard to like transition from like, man, I was literally fucking stacking bodies.
Well,
like,
the funny thing is like, really think about the infantry is such a simple job.
it is.
You know your purpose. Like you know what your whole like. What you're supposed to do? Go out and shoot the motherfucker before he shoots you. Like
and run really fast.
Yeah. I couldn't. I carried a lot of fucking weight, so there was no. It was a hobble. Just pray to God you fucking miss.
Yeah. But it is hard to transition from
it
that,
is,
and then
for
you
sure.
come to civilian life or regular life, and everything is so low.
Did you ever have that issue? We joked during Brian's bathroom break about like you get in the habit of like, you know, somebody saying salam alaikum and you're like, well, alaikum salam. Like when you came back to the States, did you have? Oh, I guess Kuwait kind of probably broke you of that little habit.
No, Kuwait was weird because, dude, it was like a culture clash in Kuwait because there was some people that were very Western, like they dressed just like we did,
Really?
very Western cultures. Dude, you go to the airport there, it was crazy. It was like a line was drawn down the airport. On one side of it was people dressed very Western. On the other side,
American.
it was like, yeah, like American. They dressed very Western culture. And then on the other side, like, dude, girls in booty shorts. Yeah. Whatever happened in Afghanistan, they'd be killed if they ever wore booty shorts.
Oh yeah, they'd hang you from the closest bridge.
Yeah, they would kill you.
But did you ever like?
But on the other side of the airport was dude and the people in the traditional man dresses. Like it was a weird culture clash. Like they
That's
clashed in the airport. It was just the weirdest thing. Like,
That's strange, but very progressive. Though,
yeah,
that
yeah.
those
So, like,
guys
in the
right
cities,
there.
dude, in the cities, they have a huge, like one of the world's biggest soccer stadiums that they played one game at, and then it got condemned.
I
for,
think Brian would
like,
look
health
good
code
in a
violations.
toba.
What's a toba?
The
Man
man dress.
dress.
Oh, we just call them man dresses.
Yeah, but
is that ignorant of me to say man dress?
Probably.
Is that like a slur?
Yeah, we're uneducated. What does it matter?
I don't know.
You got a 32 in your ASVAB. Let's leave it at that.
Not doing great, guys.
You get like 30 points for writing your name.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I fucked
Right,
that up.
look up
Can
how
you
many-
put your boots on and write your name? You're good.
Can you look up how many points you get in the ASVAB for writing your name?
Let's see how many points you get for putting your name down.
Oh,
it's probably
God.
something
It's
stupid.
probably like 20. It's probably like
15
everything,
points.
like half of what you need to be an infantryman.
ASVAB is ASVAB or ASFAB?
As I think it's S.
ASFAB. Oh, let's try that.
fucking know.
Let's try that.
Well,
Let's see what happens there. Maybe not.
I have no idea what the fuck it is.
But yeah, no. So, but like it's
it replace it.
oh yeah,
ASVAB.
they got. Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's going to tell you really the port.
I don't think you
Point
get even
system.
points for it.
ASVAB percentage range scores range from.
Oh, they even changed the scoring.
Oh yeah, because I got one. Well, I guess my GT score is 116. So your ASVAB
Is
score.
a 31 on the ASVAB good?
No, no,
No, dude, you need
no, yo, you suck.
to sign up, dude. Don't sign up.
Yeah.
You need to go work at Walmart.
God, it's
or
Garcia
McDonald's.
level. I love Garcia, but some of the shit he said in Afghanistan was fucking crazy.
Dude, fucking Cholo from LA, man.
Dude, we had a whole wall of Garcia quotes. We
Yeah.
wrote them down on a wall.
Yeah, he said some dumb
Yeah.
shit.
Garcia, pick a number greater than 4.
Yeah, and he was 3.
Oh, no, 5. He was like, pick a number greater than 5. And he goes, like, 4. And then he goes, we tried it again. He goes, so you're not going to give me this time. And he goes, 5. I go, that's fucking even too, man. Like,
He's
dude,
not.
We
he's not
were on
smart.
mission. It's like, I mean, it was early in deployment. We're on mission. We're like walking through like the bazaar or whatever. And he comes up and
It's
he goes,
a big shopping area.
yeah. And he comes up to me and goes, hey, Vriezelaar, what religion are they here? And I go, they're Muslim, Garcia.
They Islam.
And he
bro.
goes, okay. And you can see like the wheels turning.
like he's thinking
Like
hard.
he's thinking hard. Like you just see like he pauses for a second, he's thinking hard, and he goes, so they hate Jews?
God damn it, Garcia. Shout out to Garcia.
And I literally go, Garcia. I mean, technically, you're not wrong. Yes, they really don't like anybody that's not Muslim. Like that's the way they work. But
don't go to Jerusalem, Garcia.
They're not intolerant. Like a lot of people, Muslims get a bad rap for their religion because of a small, select few individuals. Extremists. But most of them aren't that way.
Just like Catholics.
Yeah, they're just like every other.
Like
religion.
there's Christian extremists.
Fucking Catholics lost a crusade for how many goddamn years and killed how many thousands of people.
Yeah, and
you have to mention the boys.
Yeah, and then honestly, fuck around again and find out, guys. No, I'm joking. I hope the Crusades never happen again.
No, that was fucking terrible.
But yeah, dude, every religion is fucking terrible. Also, our man right here just reverted.
I haven't reverted yet.
Oh, he's about to revert to Islam.
Oh.
He's like read the Bible. He's big on religion and like studying. Like we're big on just like being smarter about everything in the world. So
there's nothing like even if you're not religious, I still think you should read some religious books and just understand where people are coming from.
Yeah, the Quran is actually. He told me, and because I'm very well versed, or I know the Bible. I'm not well versed.
Right.
I know the Bible. That's what I was raised on. But like he tells me these like Quran stories, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just like fucking King Solomon. Yeah, he's like, it's the same story.
It's like it's literally the same story from like a different POV.
It's a different POV, a different language, but it's like the same story. Yeah. It's like, fucking wild, man. Yeah. So shout out to the Muslims out there, dude. I respect Islam for real.
Yeah, people just need to not be so intolerant and just do a little research.
Yeah,
figure out where they're coming from.
Dude, honestly, and the Jews too, man. I fucking
they've got a bad rap for a long time.
God, dude.
Those poor souls.
I know, man. They get ridden harder than a fucking horse on a jockey on a horse, dude. You know what I mean? Like those poor souls, man. God, the 40s were rough for them.
Oh yeah, terrible time.
Fuck, dude.
Oh god. Yeah, I can't believe Garcia said that. Like,
I don't think there's a religion I respect more than Judaism. The Jewish religion. They're some tough, smart fucking folks. They are some tough, smart folks.
Well, that's why they were so hated in Germany, because of the fact that Germany was going through
a depression
and economic crisis.
Yeah.
Well, most of the Jews were smart and very well with their money, so they were doing okay.
Yeah.
So that's where all the hatred went to them, because like, oh, these guys are. That's where you get all the money pinching jokes from. Like,
you got a bank account,
right? Like,
you got money?
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
You go to all.
Kill them all. You take their money.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like,
dude, fuck Hitler. Man, I don't know, dude. So, I don't know. We covered the darkest moment. Do you got anything you want to wrap up on? You got any questions that are jogging around in your little noodle up there that you want to throw
just,
out there?
Last minute shout outs.
Yeah, man, last minute shout outs. Duda, hit me with that outro music, sir, and watch the volume on it. Last couple minutes while we're outroing on this music is all up to you. Shout out to whoever you want, people you'll tell to watch the video, or where can people get a hold of you? Like if there's another veteran going through some shit and you want them to reach out to you, where can they reach out to you? Stuff like that.
I mean, if you're a veteran going to reach out to me, I only have Facebook. I don't do social medias and shit. I'm going to have a Snapchat, but it's literally like another way.
And it's just Justin Vriezelaar on Facebook. How do you spell your last name again?
Justin T. Vriezelaar, and it's Vriezelar.
Fucking double A situation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about it's fucking crazy. Goddamn crowds.
Yeah, lived my whole life.
And then last minute shout outs, man. Who are you going to tell about this episode?
I think my girlfriend's going to watch it, so shout out Selena. And then I'm got my buddy Ben back there that's going to watch it, so that's about it. I haven't really told many people are going to be on here, but once it's up, I'll probably send it out to a few people.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to all our veterans out there.
Dude, mad respect. I always have so much fun with the veteran episodes, but it hits different when it's somebody that was slinging lead with you.
Right, yeah.
We caught up a lot last night.
Yeah.
We told a lot of good stories here today, man. And you're 6 hours away, so I got to come make a trip to Iowa, dude.
I've been out here 3 times. It's your turn to come my way.
I got to figure it out.
As we wrap up, how's it feel to get some brass in your on your skin?
Oh fuck, dude! I've had it go down. I've had it go down my sleeve.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Like in Afghanistan, I was like in a pile of my own brass, and it like goes down my sleeve, and I'm like, oh, I think it's like the brass piles. Like sweep it away, which is the worst thing to do, because now it went from like in the fold of my sleeve to right on my elbow.
Yeah,
and just put that sucker down. And go, son of a bitch, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, Blackhawk down. It's a real thing, guys.
Yeah.
It's a real
I
thing.
went deaf like Blackhawk down. I had a saw gunner shoot his gun so close to my fucking head. I walked back to the cop and I couldn't hear shit. We took 4 fire.
Days.
Yeah,
we took fire on the way back, and I didn't even know. I just saw the platoon start running, and I'm just like, "What's happening?" I can't even hear the rounds coming in. It was fucking terrible.
It's nothing short of a pleasure to sit down and chat with you, man.
Yeah,
on the
it's been great,
podcast, dude. It's going to be, this episode's going to crush. So just really thank you for your time. You could have done anything for the last 2 days. You've been hanging out with me. So
I mean, I was in the area with work and
fuck it. And you got to go back. So we're not going to tie you up much longer. We're going to let you get out of here, man. But thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
And this has been Justin Vriezelaar, Army Infantry veteran. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you.